Arnold takes the snap, comes back over the middle, flush in the pocket, moving right. Zion Young at the 15 to the 10, to the house, to the house, to the house with 30 seconds to play.
It's all about Kansas City's one true son.
Good snap, good place. Kick is up. It is. Yes. Oh, a walk-off winner from 61. Harrison Mevis sends the Mizzou students running onto the turf.
This is The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app. Now, here's the Tiger King.
So bounce it in. Missouri will hold it. Bill Self comes down, shakes the hand of the head coach, waves to the rest. Kansas heads, and here comes the students. Folks, Missouri's done it for just the 5th time in school history. Missouri knocks off the #1 team in the nation.
Carrington Harrison.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. We appreciate you being here with us on this wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. Yes, we are going to talk some Mizzou. We also are going to talk a lot of NFL. Coming up in just a bit, there is a rumor that has been circulating about George Karlaftis. It's a positive one. Don't get all worried. We'll talk about that coming up in just a bit. I think that this week could not have gone any better for Major League Baseball than what we've seen. We'll talk a little over-unders in the NFL. Did you know that we are exactly 50 days away from the first game of the NFL season? So that is going to happen before you know it. Maybe you take 1 or 2 vacations, you look up, and next thing you know, you find yourself getting ready for week 1 of the NFL regular season. We got a lot to get into in today's show. BK is going to be on coming up in about 15 minutes or so. We didn't get a chance to do it yesterday. We will do it today. I got a chance to be joined by CC Sabathia. We'll play that for you. And the athletic director for the University of Missouri, Laird Veach, will be on the show coming up in about an hour or so. We got a lot to get into, but before we do any of that, I need you guys to do me this favor. Number one, I need you listening to The Drive each day at 2 o'clock. Right here on 96.5 The Fan, and I need you to tell one friend to check out the show. I mean, it'd be great if you could tell 2 friends to check out the show, but you know what? Beggars can be choosers, and you know what? If you could tell one person to check out the show this week, I would greatly appreciate it. I do want to talk a little bit of Major League Baseball, but let's start with a rumor that is circulating. Now, I have to preface all of this, and this is not me hating. I'm just telling you. I don't know who this Ricky Scoops guy is. I see that he is very popular on social media, and he gets a lot of things right. But I don't know who he is. This could be a bot. This could be an NFL general manager. It could be anybody. His identity has never been revealed. But it is very clear that he is plugged in to somebody in the National Football League and is in the know. So, yesterday, the Chiefs ended up getting a deal done with Trey Smith. We were talking about the Trent McDuffie contract is one that the Chiefs would be taking a closer look at, and maybe they are. But we get this tweet from @RickyScoops. The Chiefs are closing in on a new deal with George Karlaftis. Expected to be done during camp, but there is serious momentum towards getting an extension done. You guys know that George Karlaftis was a first-round pick. The Chiefs have picked up his 5th-year option. Certainly no reason not to pick up his 5th-year option. It certainly makes sense to me why the Chiefs will be interested in extending a contract with George Karlaftis. Couple of questions, though. I don't know why George Karlaftis would want to sign this deal right now. I also will be very, very interested, if this is true, on what the financials of this look like from Kansas City. Now, don't get me wrong. I think George Karlaftis has had a very strong start to his season. But he hasn't had a monster year. He has 1 year in which he's had double-digit sacks. We're not talking about a Pro Bowl caliber player. We're not talking about an all-pro caliber player. We're not talking about a guy that is considered around the league to be one of the better pass rushers in the National Football League. I'm not saying that's not a guy worth signing. Just what does an early contract extension look like for that kind of player? Rob, the Chiefs are doing what you want them to do. We like a player. It is now eligible for him to sign a contract extension. We're going to try to get this done as quickly as possible. But if we're talking about the high end of the market for his position, I don't think there's any reason to be having that conversation. He's not getting Nick Bosa money. He's not getting Myles Garrett money, Max Crosby. He's not in that category. How do you pay him? Let's say that you pay him like Chase Young, for example. Chase Young signed a 3-year deal. You remember him, very high draft pick coming out of Ohio State. He got a second contract. He moved down to New Orleans. He got a 3-year, $51 million deal and got around $28 million guaranteed. Would you feel comfortable giving that contract today to George Karlaftis? I mean, that's probably what the market is for a player of his caliber. But if I'm George Karlaftis, I'm a little surprised that he would want to get a deal done. Why not roll the dice and bet on yourself? Being an NFL player, you have to have the ultimate confidence in yourself. And for a defense that is returning almost everybody up front, if you get a healthy Charles Omenihu for next season, you got Chris Jones on the other side. If you can go out there and put together a 12, 13, 14 sack season and really take a step forward, I mean, we're talking about that could put an extra $30 million in your pocket. I'm surprised if George Karlaftis would, A, be willing to do a deal like this early on in the contract negotiations, and I don't really know what you offer him if you're Kansas City. You're obviously hopeful about what he can turn into. You're thinking that he can develop into one of the better pass rushers in the league, but we're not talking about breaking the bank for him. I am a little bit surprised, Rob, that George Karlaftis would kind of skip the line a bit if we were talking about him versus Trent McDuffie. It would give a lot of credence to what people were saying yesterday on the text line. Hey, this is the position that we feel we can draft really well, where DN pass rusher isn't really traditionally, at least with this regime, a position that they have drafted exceptionally well. I'm just surprised at this story, surprised at this rumor. I'm giving it a lot of respect because of who it comes from and his track record of getting things right. This honestly is a really head-scratching rumor to me.
So first off, I was joking with some people in the building the other day, hey, are you a Pretty Ricky fan? And people were like, it's an internet person, but he was dead right. He was 1,000% correct on Trey Smith, and he's been right in the past. Now, he doesn't bat 1,000. No one on the internet bats 1,000. But he kind of reminds me of, remember the college basketball guy, Trilly Donovan? Mm-hmm. He's basically that for people who are on the internet. I like the idea of signing George Karlaftis, and I like the idea of giving him the Chase Young deal. Maybe you give him a little less. I think he's worth more than the Mike Dana deal. Mike Dana got 3 for $24. Karlaftis is worth more than 3 for $24. But if you think the basement is Dana, 3 for $24, and you think the ceiling is Chase Young with that 3 for $51 you laid out, you kind of find something in the middle, and that's not a bad deal to extend George Karlaftis to. You're not going to end up paying him top-flight money because he's not a top-flight pass rusher. But if you feel like, hey, we got a good player on a good contract at a premium position locked up for the next 3-4 years, I don't know why Chiefs fans would be upset about that. Now, if the decision is to give Karlaftis a deal over McDuffie, then yeah, I'll be frustrated by that. But the idea of Karlaftis, the number Karlaftis will come in at, is actually just smart business by the Chiefs because you want to keep your good players in-house if the contract is, in fact, just good and not great.
Of course, but I think the Mike Dana comparison, and yeah, if you can get George Karlaftis for a 3-year, $24 million deal, you run to go get that deal signed. I just don't really know why George Karlaftis would sign that deal when his 5th-year option is $15.2 million. He's going to make $15 million just next season playing for the Chiefs. So I'm agreeing to $24 million over the next 3 years. Also, looking at Mike Dana, who's a very good rotational pass rusher. Mike Dana's never had a double-digit sack season. George Karlaftis has already had one. I don't know why you wouldn't at least play it out one more year with George Karlaftis, especially when you've been a healthy, productive player. We're not talking about a guy that's been really banged up, injury concerns. And I think you also saw the second half of the season when Charles Omenihu came back, you saw him play with a much different juice. Like, to me, this is sort of negotiating from a place of being scared when at 24 years old, and you've made good money. You signed a first-year contract, a 4-year, $11 million deal. You got your option picked up, so I don't want to make it seem like you're broke or struggling by any means, but you play at a premium A1 position. I'm going to sign a contract 2 years early to be paid like Mike Dana, even though Mike Dana's never had a double-digit sack season. He was a mid-round pick. I was a first-round pick that has lived up to expectations. that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me on why George Karlaftis would kind of be in that conversation. I'm not saying this rumor is true. I'm not saying that it's not true. I also would be very much in favor of signing George Karlaftis to a deal. But there really isn't a player comparison I think you can kind of point to and say, hey, this is the framework for it. When talking about Trent McDuffie, there's a framework for what a deal for him looks like. Look at what Sauce Gardner got. Look at what Pat Surtain II got. Look at what J.C. Horn got. Hey, this guy's a very comparable player. We deserve to pay him. If I'm advising George Karlaftis, I tell him to wait. And I tell him, hey, you're not that far off from a Max Crosby kind of season. I mean, Max Crosby, if you look at his first 3 years in the National Football League, Max Crosby was a good player. He had 10 sacks, 7 sacks, and 8 sacks. If you look at George Karlaftis and what he's done so far early on in his career. So I just gave you the Max Crosby numbers. He had 10 sacks, 7 sacks, and 8 sacks. George Karlaftis had 6, 10.5, and 8. You are not that far off from being Max Crosby. You know what Max Crosby did? In that 4th season, he got 12.5 sacks. In his 5th season, he got 14.5 sacks. And now Max Crosby is widely regarded as one of the best DNs in the National Football League and gets paid accordingly. He's a top 5 player paid at his position. George, that's what you can be. Taking the Mike Dana deal is selling yourself short. You could potentially be leaving $80 million on the table if you simply go out there and have a good year and dominate next season. Be a Pro Bowler, take that next step, and I'll go get you the money. I would just be I'm very intrigued to see if this is true and if this happens. And if we end up getting the information, the tweet comes through that the Chiefs have agreed to a deal. How do you pay George Karlaftis? And from financially, what sacrifice was George Karlaftis willing to do to get this deal done pretty early on? I don't think there's a rush to pay George Karlaftis. I don't think George should feel like there's a rush to get paid at this point in his career. You haven't put together that career year, that breakthrough kind of season. Go put that season together, and then we can have this conversation about what a second contract and a long-term extension looks like. I want to read you guys' text on this, 913-586-7965. BK is going to join us coming up in about 15 minutes. We'll also talk about last night's All-Star game. You know what? The little home run derby swing-off they did. I'm not against seeing that more often. We'll talk about it. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, host of the Random Royals lineup on 96.5 The Fan.
Baseball with the Royals.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164. 800-390-1164.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Up to 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models for 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified pre-owned vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months, plus a $200 gas card with purchase. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
When you buy from any of the Balderson Auto Group dealerships, you're getting the support from all of our dealerships.
Like our 100 service bays, collision, and detail centers.
And our free exclusive lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you that.
From north, central, south, the Balderson Auto Group has you covered.
A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
Go to bagkc.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Matt, your leaf filter trusted pro. Gutters are an often neglected part of the home. They're also one of the most important. Clogged, overflowing gutters can cause serious problems like foundation damage or basement flooding, which can cost thousands of dollars to fix. Let's face it, cleaning gutters yourself is not only a hassle, it can be dangerous. But when you get Leaf Filter, you'll never have to worry about cleaning clogged gutters again. Get started today by visiting leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free inspection. If you decide to move forward, we'll professionally clean, realign, and seal your gutters before installing our patented stainless steel micro mesh system. Leaf Filter keeps out everything but the water. And it's backed by a lifetime transferable no clogs warranty. So you're protected for good. We're in your neighborhood and ready to help. Visit Leaf Filter today for a free inspection and estimate, and you could save up to 30%. Visit leaffilter.com/deal. That's leaffilter.com/deal.
DQ presents How to Make Your Summer Take Flight. Just head into DQ for a new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard Treat. Treat your inner hero to an epic mix of sugar cookie dough, sprinkles, and cake batter flavor. Blend it all with legendary DQ soft serve, and it's enough to tempt Superman himself. Fly into DQ for our new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard Treat before it's gone. And don't miss Superman, only in theaters July 11th. DQ, happy tastes good. Only at participating locations.
Member Week is here at Lowe's. Don't miss your chance to get up to 40% off hundreds of items like paint, tools, home essentials, and more. Shop our exclusive deals happening in-store and online now through July 18th. Not a rewards member? Join for free today and get ready to save more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Hey, what's up, flies? This is David Spade.
Dana Carvey.
Look, I know we never actually left, but I'll just say it. We are back with another season of Fly on the Wall.
Every episode, including ones with guests, will now be on video. Every Thursday, you'll hear us and see us chatting with big-name celebrities.
And every Monday, you're stuck with just me and Dana. We react to news, what's trending, viral clips.
Follow and listen to Fly on the Wall everywhere you get your podcasts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Follow the station on Instagram at TheFan965 for giveaways and behind-the-scenes content.
Let's wrap up this conversation, at least for now, when it comes to George Karlaftis. If you miss it, there is a rumor flying around that the Chiefs are close to reaching a long-term extension with George Karlaftis. Now, I can't verify this rumor. I'm not even telling you that it's coming from an Ian Rappaport or Adam Schefter. But the person that the rumor is coming from has a pretty good track record of getting these things right, or else I wouldn't be talking to you about it. I wouldn't be wasting your time with it. The rumor is that the Chiefs are closing in on a new deal for George Karlaftis, expected to be done during camp, but there is serious momentum towards getting an extension done. I like George Karlaftis. I'm interested in signing him to a long-term extension. I just don't really know what that looks like for a player who, A, hasn't had a monster season and doesn't have any personal accolades, hasn't been to a Pro Bowl, hasn't been an All-Pro, hasn't been considered to be one of the best pass rushers in the league. I'm just really curious what a contract extension looks like early for that player. I think you kind of know what it is after he finishes his deal, but we're talking about in the middle of his contract when the Chiefs still have 2 years of control left over George Karlaftis. I get why the Chiefs would want to try to get a deal done and get him for the cheap. I am a little surprised that George Karlaftis would really entertain a contract extension. Someone on the text line comes out and says, text line 913-586-7965, C-Dot, I think a ceiling is probably closer to the deal that Jawan Taylor got. I mean, Jawan Taylor got $60 million guaranteed. I like George Karlaftis as a player. I would be stunned if their play right now was to give George Karlaftis that much money guaranteed. That would be the third highest amount of guaranteed money that any defensive lineman or any D-end has gotten so far in NFL history. I've only 2 players to get more than that guaranteed. Max Crosby and Nick Bosa. If their plan is to give George Karlaftis $60 million guaranteed, I think they have made a mistake on that player. Sometimes I think you can wait. This is where I think, Rob, you and I disagreed a little bit about some of the other deals where I am on George Karlaftis. Hey, we think you're a really good player. Put up some more numbers, put up another big season, and we can have this conversation. We're not saying that we don't want to pay you. We're just saying is we're fine with waiting to pay you. We're going to use the rest of this year. We've already picked up the 5th-year option, which will guarantee you $15 million. So the Chiefs have George Karlaftis under contract for about $19 million for the next 2 seasons. Hey, you're 24 years old. Go out there, ball out, put out a great season together, and then we can have this conversation next year when you put yourself in the conversation for some of the elite pass rushers. I just don't really think that there is a rush to get a deal done for a good player whose contract is not expiring and you still got 2 more years of control over.
It's possible, and I'm just going to lay out the scenario where here's the rush. He is a player who plays a premium position in the NFL. We don't have to have another conversation like we did yesterday about positional value. We all agree pass rush is premium. End of discussion. He is a guy who has been around his career, let's just say 8.5 to 10 sacks. He's got 25 sacks in 3 seasons. 8.5 basically is the number for what he averages a year. If you think in year 4 he's going to bump up to 11 or 12.5, then because of his position, his value might be going up. And maybe you think you get him done now and you don't have to pay him. I looked it up, the Greg Rousseau contract. Greg Rousseau with the Bills got 4 for $80. That is not the biggest number in the world, but it's also not the smallest in the world. The last 2 seasons, George Karlaftis has had more sacks than Gregory Rousseau. So maybe you're trying
giving him 80 right now?
I'm just saying that was probably the number that the Chiefs are trying to
avoid,
so you get it done early, because if he has a big season, that number ain't going lower.
Yeah, but I guess at least for me, I'm willing to let you do it and then pay you that on the back half rather than pay you before you do it. I'm rather always kind of wait in that scenario. I think this is the challenge when talking about a contract for George Karlaftis is kind of like at quarterback, there really is no middle ground. You either get paid like a high-end pass rusher, you're a rookie who we're waiting on you to get paid. Like if you look at Aiden Hutchinson, for example, he's the 15th highest paid DN. He was a highly drafted player, but we also expect that Aiden Hutchinson is going to get a big contract later on in his career. So when you go from the top, the Nick Bosa, the Myles Garrett, the Max Crosby's, if you go from that, there's really not a big gap between those guys and we're the high-end rookies. So Abdul Carter hasn't played a snap in the NFL. He's the 13th highest paid player at this position just because of the rookie wage scale. That's why I just don't really know if there's a really good number right now. And if you're asking me, if you're telling me that today the plan is to give George Karlaftis 4 years, $80 million and $40 million guaranteed with 1 double-digit sack season, no Pro Bowls, no All-Pros, no nothing, my answer on that is no. Today. That's not a forever no. That's like a we'll see. Hey, go out there, do some other things, and we'll do it. But not today. I'm not giving him that contract right now. Not when I got an all-pro corner that's waiting to get paid.
I am open to that contract today. A, with the notion that you're going to get the all-pro corner done. And B, if you're proactive and you get the 4 for $80 done today, maybe it looks bad on day 1. But let's say he has a 12-sack season. I'm not saying he's TJ Watt. But if he has a 12-sack season, you're going to think, oh, we're getting a nice deal at 4 for $40 guaranteed. You actually are getting more value out of the player than you're paying. And if you think, and it's possible so the Chiefs think, there is another half step forward in him, you pay the number now, and when he takes that step forward, you feel like you're actually still having a team-friendly deal. I get what you're saying, but that's the glass half empty approach. The glass half full is you get the deal done, and all of a sudden he exceeds the deal, and now you have a player who's at a premium position outplaying his contract, and that's win-win-win for everyone involved.
Someone texted in, C-Dot, if I had to guess, I think George likes where he is in Kansas City, cost of living, etc. Maybe it's more than just trying to get a monster payday for some guys. If that's the case, he is the most unique 24-year-old National Football League player who is ending his rookie contract and heading into their second deal. This is the time to hit teams over the head. You play a premium position. You have been a healthy player, a part of a championship-level defense. This is the time to go get your money. That's what I would tell him if I was his agent. Bro, what are we doing it for? This is your time to hit. Look at your position. Look at how much you can get paid. Max Crosby put together 12 and a half sacks and got $100 million guaranteed. What are we doing this for? Yeah, no, I'm looking for the $100 million deal. Maybe the Chiefs are offering that today, and if that's the case, I would tell George Karlaftis sign. Why are we even discussing this? If you're telling me that you can be the fifth highest paid DN, you can get paid what Montez Sweat got, 4 years, $98 million, we shouldn't even be having this conversation. He should have signed that the moment it was brought up. Really, what? You want to sign me to what? Yeah, no, done. There's not really much else to talk about if we were having that conversation, if that's the contract proposal that has potentially been thrown out there for George Karlaftis. We'll get back to this later in the show. We got BK coming on in about 5 minutes or so. Rob, I don't know how much of the All-Star week things that you've got a chance to watch. I don't really know if it could have been a better 2 days for baseball than what we've seen. The home run derby was exciting. Cal Raleigh won it, who has been really one of the stories of the first half of the season. He has 38 home runs as a catcher, looking to try to break Aaron Judge's American League record. You had a very thrilling, exciting comeback in yesterday's All-Star game, and you got a very unique home run swing-off that determined who won the game yesterday. You also had, and I don't want to forget this, a very, very solid tribute to Hank Aaron, who is the home run king in a lot of people's eyes. I thought it was a combination of everything good about baseball. Say what you want about Rob Manfred. I think he has done a really good job in trying to be innovative and trying some new things. Yes, people hated the pitch clock. He ended up being right about the pitch clock. People hated the ghost runner on second base. I think he's going to end up being right about that. Now, let's see if they end up doing this home run swing as a more regular activity. I don't think they are. I think this is a spring training all-star game thing, but a really fun, unique idea. And I also think that baseball celebrates its history better than the other leagues do. Better than football, better than basketball, better than college football. Baseball does a really good job, whether it's pop culture-wise with the Field of Dreams, whether it's historical like we saw with the Negro Leagues game a couple of years ago. Baseball does a really, really solid job at this stuff. I don't know if you could ask for a better all-star break than what we've seen baseball has done. Baseball is never going to be what it was 25 years ago or 35 years ago, but baseball still has a very unique and special place in American pop culture and American sports, and I think we saw a lot of that the last couple days in Atlanta.
I also think you saw the future in Atlanta, too. You actually saw the future in the past. I think they had a nice little tribute there to Clayton Kershaw, get him on the mound, get a standing ovation. He's going to Cooperstown one day. That was a nice moment. And you saw the stars of tomorrow perform well on the Major League stage. Tarek Skubal was good. Bobby Witt was good. Paul Skeens was good. Like, they had young stars performing well in the game. So, and then you have the ABS system, which I know everyone's going to be hesitant toward more replay and more umpiring, but it seemed to work a little bit last night. It went fast. We got the correct calls. It feels like baseball did a perfect job of honoring the past, looking into the future, celebrating their stars, and really just, this is what you should do with an all-star game weekend. Don't make it gimmicky. Don't make the game count for home field. Don't do any of that. Just do it like this. And I think they nailed every single aspect of this. And then they were big on social media, which baseball never is. They were checking all the boxes this week.
You know what? I think baseball kind of gets a bad rap for how it markets its sports. I think baseball gets a really, really tough go of it when it comes for those things. I really do. I think baseball has done a really good job over the last 3-4 years. And for the mistakes that Rob Manfred has made, and I don't think he's made a whole lot. I think he handled the Astros thing incorrectly, but for the most part, I think Rob Manfred has done a good job. What baseball needed to do was adjust to more modern times. And I would say different than the other sports that kind of welcome and open change. I think NBA fans are open to changes. I think football fans are open to changes. That's not really what baseball fans are. I remember baseball fans were mad about them extending the net. Oh, well, all you got to do is get off your phone. People ain't getting off their phone. So why don't we extend the net? And now that they've done it, no one notices, and we all go to baseball games, and it's just fine. I think baseball has done a really, really good job of these things. And I thought yesterday was an A+ banner day for the sport. as it heads into the second half of the season. So the players have today off, they have tomorrow off, and we'll get back to business coming up on Friday as we are now less than 2 weeks away from the Major League Baseball trade deadline. Speaking of baseball, let's head to St. Louis to be joined by Brandon Kiley. He is a Mizzou alum. We'll get his thoughts on the Tigers and probably some other things too. BK, how are you doing, man?
I am fantastic, C-Dot. How you doing, man? I need to get back to Weston soon. Every time I think about that town, I think about the time that I thought you were going to take me and Sean Levine and take us out to pasture because we had no idea where we were going. C-Dot just kept driving and driving and driving, and we ended up in one of the most fantastic spots I've ever been to.
Well, that's not a name that we speak on the show, but I'm happy to speak on it if that's what you would like to do. I will say, you and I did learn that person was a lightweight. We did learn that.
Yeah. We can go ahead and end the conversation there if you want to, but yes, that is correct.
So there's a lot of things I want to get your thought on. Why don't we start with this? I'm sure by now you've seen the tweet from Ricky Scoops. Now, I don't know who Ricky Scoops is, but he does have a pretty decent batting average, so it's at least something to pay attention to. He is reporting that the Chiefs are talking to George Karlaftis about a new deal, and there's a chance they get a deal done. I'm a little bit surprised because I don't really know how you pay George Karlaftis. He's had one double-digit sack season. He's never made a Pro Bowl, never been an all-pro kind of player. I know why the Chiefs would want to sign him to a deal. I'm a little bit surprised that George Karlaftis wouldn't want to gamble on himself a little bit more, try to go have 12 and a half sacks this season, and probably make an extra $20 or $30 million for himself.
Hey, see, now why am I in St. Louis, right? I'm in St. Louis because this is where my wife's from. Otherwise, I would still be in Kansas City with you guys. Don't mess with Happy, man. And George Karlaftis might just be saying to himself, you know what? I'm in a really good situation. I am in a scheme that works for me. I play for a coach that I adore. I'm in an organization that right now is going through the most success that it's ever had and as much success as any franchise ever potentially will. So I'm going to get paid life-changing money. Is it my maximum output? Maybe not, but it's a pretty damn good paycheck, and I'm not messing with Happy by being here. So from his perspective, if he's not trying to get the most money possible, it makes a lot of sense, man, because you don't know if this money's going to be there from the Chiefs this time next year, beyond that. I think it could make some sense from both perspectives. I will be very curious to see what that dollar figure is, though, because if he is going to try to get paid like he's, a top 5 to 10 defensive end in the sport, I can't imagine that is something that the Chiefs would be interested in just because they have so many other guys that they're going to have to pay, especially Trent McDuffie in future seasons. So they've got a really tightrope to walk here. I'll be curious to see kind of what the dollar figure would be if that kind of a deal is able to get done.
Yeah, I mean, I would guess that this Chase Young contract is probably the one, 3 years, $51 million, $27 million guaranteed. I mean, that's probably the contract that you feel comfortable at with George Karlaftis at this stage in his career. But that kind of goes again to my point where, I mean, there's a big difference between Chase Young and Montez Sweat. That's really one good year. Montez Sweat got $98 million. Chase Young got $51 million. I hear what you're saying about don't mess with Happy and do all those things. We're talking about $45 million we're talking about.
Some of that, though, can get into the funny money, right? Like, it's about the years, and if you get a 5-year deal, this goes back to the Trey Smith conversation where, dude, that is a real 3-year contract. Like, there is no funny money in that outside of the final year of the contract, and that could just be, like, future renegotiation stuff that's put in there. If you get a 5-year deal, a lot of the time, the last 2 years on that, it's just fake, just completely fake money. It drives up the average annual value, and it makes the contract look better than it actually is. So if he gets, a 3-year legit contract similar to the likes of which that Trey Smith just got, I mean, that for some guys can be every bit as good as getting a 5-year deal that has just a bigger dollar figure attached to it.
We were talking about this yesterday. I guess 2 things that I want to get your opinion on. The first thing that we were talking about is I don't like the Trey Smith contract just because of positional value. I'm not denying that Trey Smith is a good player. Of course he's a good player. But if you took that contract at wide receiver, that would be the 9th highest paid wide receiver in the league. He is currently the 7th highest paid offensive lineman. Like, not just interior. He is the 7th highest paid offensive lineman in the league, and he plays right guard. I just don't think the positional value is there to give that player $60, $70 million guaranteed.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, man. This and then the Nick Bolton contract as well. I would say they're two contracts that just place that much more pressure on you to be right elsewhere. You can pay your center and your guard a boatload of money, but what it means is you probably have to go cheaper at tackle. And this is where they have to be right on Simmons. They have to be right on Kingsley. They've got to figure it out at right tackle beyond this season where they're going to have a young guy that is in next to Trey Smith, and then Trey has to be the one that floats up the level of success on that right side of the offensive line. So is it my favorite move that the Chiefs have made? No. I personally probably just would have stuck with what you had on the left side. Keep the veteran there, put him next to Simmons, and figure out what you're going to do on the right side, and maybe even try Kingsley there. And then you've just got, like, veteran, young player next to every single spot on your offensive line. It's a really bold choice. And like you said, the $23 million, this isn't just a lot for a guard. This is real money for a tackle. If they were going to pay a left tackle, it's starting caliber for that. I get what the idea is here, C-Dot, but it really just comes back to, like, you have to be right on Josh Simmons. If you are, okay, all the rest of these plans kind of make some sense. You can make it work, and you average it out. You're not paying a boatload of money in 26 to your offensive line because you got a couple of rookie deals. But if you're wrong there and you don't have an answer there, things get real tough real quick.
I do have this thought, and it's, I guess, the second half of that thought as well. I don't want to hear any excuses for the offensive line this year. Not with the amount of resources that they've spent on the offensive line. They gave Jalen Moore $21 million, or if he doesn't start, it's their first-round pick. Their second-round pick is starting at left guard. They think they have the best center in the NFL. They think they have the best right guard in the NFL. The Chiefs think they have one of the best right tackles in the NFL. This needs to look like and play like one of the best offensive lines in the league next year. That means Mahomes needs to be protected. That means this team needs to run the football effectively. They got to win the line of scrimmage in short yardage situations. This needs to be one of the best lines in the league next year.
I'm with you, and I would even take it a step further. Like, it's why I think it's a really big year for this offense in general, right? The excuses should be gone, health permitted. I mean, you now have Hollywood Brown coming back on the same deal that he had last year. They were excited about him last year, and they believed that he was going to open up the deep ball. All right, let's see that now. Rashee Rice is coming back. The expectation is he's going to be healthy. I think he was going to have a monster season last year. Let's see it. You have now Xavier Worthy having been your de facto number one wide receiver a year ago. They never figured it out with the deep ball, but everything else clicks there. All right, you've got a trio of weapons there wide receiver-wise, the likes of which that you really haven't had in the Mahomes era. You've had better individual guys, but three receivers at that level, I think this is probably the best you've had. That should also take a little bit of the pressure off of Kelsey. You bring up the offensive line. Even if they're not significantly better at running back, they're definitely deeper at the position, and they should have more juice there. Man, this offense should be good. Like, it shouldn't feel like you're pulling teeth anymore when you go through each individual week. If it doesn't feel that way, if it does continue to feel like things are a little off, it's just not clicking, I think it'll be the first time where there are real questions among Chiefs fans about what's going on here. Why does it still feel this way? Previously, you always had the excuses, explanations, whatever you prefer to call it. This year, I think those are pretty much gone, at least going into the season.
It's kind of funny because last year had so much hype and buzz and excitement around it for Mizzou, and I definitely get why that's the case. I think you could argue that this year's team is better than last year's team on paper, but there isn't nearly the buzz this year that it was last year.
I think there's a few reasons for that. One, Burden was just such a huge part of the buzz, right? You came into the season and you're thinking, hey, does this guy – probably not realistic. Receivers don't really win the Heisman, but this guy could be in that kind of a conversation, right? You could have at least the hype of it going into Week 6. Hey, look at where he's at. Look at where that compares to other receivers across college football. Could this be the year that he gets at least a call, a conversation there? So Burden was a huge part of that. You had all of the returning production on the offensive side of the ball, and that's what sells. This year, you don't have a returning quarterback. The receiver position, I think, could be really good for Mizzou. It just lacks the same buzz as a guy like Burden that came in with that kind of hype. Where I agree with you, though, C-Dot, is I think this has a chance to be a more complete team than they were a year ago. I think this defense has a chance to be really good, dude. This defensive line is loaded. I mean, you're talking about like 4 or 5 defensive ends that you feel really good about going into the season. The secondary brings back almost everybody that they had a year ago. Linebackers should be even better. and it's the second year of this new system. So I think you could be a lot better on the defensive side of the ball, and the offense, while not having the same name recognition as they did last year, I think could end up having a unit overall that has a more clear identity. I think this is very much going to be a run-first offense that flows through different weapons in the passing game. So I think they could be better, even if they're not necessarily as exciting going into the season. And a lot of that comes back to Burden and the lack of a quarterback that we know a whole lot about.
Last thing here, BK, who do you have as this year's Tennessee? What I mean is, we know that Texas is going to make the playoff. Georgia is going to make the playoffs. You're going to get those teams in the SEC, but you probably get that Tennessee, Florida, South Carolina. One of those teams ends up making the postseason. If you had to guess right now, who is this year's version of Tennessee?
Twofold. One, I think Texas A&M is probably going to get in. Two, you mentioned him, South Carolina. Lenora Sellers is such a stud, man. And you saw him a year ago. That guy, to me, I know Arch Manning, because of the name recognition, is going to get all of the hype coming into this season, and that's deserved. He's going to be a really talented, good quarterback. Lenora Sellers should enter the season as the overwhelming favorite to win the Heisman. I think he's the best player in college football. I think he should be the number 1 overall pick next year. That guy's a superstar in the making. So to me, South Carolina would be the team that I would be circling just because of how special they are at the quarterback position, and they have a ton of talent returning as well. That would be my maybe like under the radar, probably going to be better than a lot of casual college football fans are expecting.
That is my guy, Brandon Kiley, joining us on the show today. He's doing fantastic work in St. Louis, talking a little Chiefs, talking a little Mizzou here as we are celebrating All-Star Weekend in baseball. BK, man, I appreciate you making time for us today, man. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate you. Before I get out of here, Aaron Boone, I don't know that he should for sure be fired, but there should at least be conversations today after what he pulled with that swing off last night. Just unbelievable. The guy that nobody's ever heard of batting third in that, on a moment that nobody will ever forget, for that to be the first time that it's happened to the All-Star game. You've got Bobby Witt standing on third, and for him to not be utilized, just absolutely nasty business by Aaron Boone. So wanted to get that out there. Appreciate you, C-Dot.
Absolutely, BK. That is our guy, Brandon Kiley, joining us on the show today. Really appreciate him popping on the show for us today. Coming up in the 3 o'clock hour, we're going to be joined by Laird Veach. He is the athletic director at the University of Missouri. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Ready for your dream Las Vegas vacation? Enter BetMGM's Your Legendary Vegas Getaway, and you'll have the chance to win a customizable Las Vegas experience. It's easy to enter. Just sign up for a BetMGM account and download the app or log in with your existing account. Then place your bets on your favorite sports to earn up to 25 entries. You could win a trip to Vegas that includes an MGM Grand Stay, travel accommodations, resort credit, and your chance at an exclusive sports, entertainment, or club experience. Score the Las Vegas trip of your dreams by entering BetMGM's Your Legendary Vegas Getaway, and you could be on your way to your perfect Vegas vacation. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. New and existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please make sure to read our full terms and conditions before participating in this promotion. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Baseball season is in full swing, and that means the summer heat is coming. The guys at Climate Control have been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years and know how to get your cooling system ready to handle our scorching hot summer weather. Stay cool and comfortable this summer. Call Climate Control today at 816-265-2830 and schedule your AC system tune-up for just $59. Don't wait. Visit ClimateControlKC.com today. Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Hi there, I'm Charlie.
And I'm Carter. Our dad is Rex with Rex Buys KC.
If you're thinking about selling a home in Kansas City and don't know where to start, our dad can help.
Sometimes life throws curveballs, like moving for a new job, dealing with a divorce, or inheriting a house you weren't expecting.
Dad doesn't just make offers, he talks with people to help them understand all of their options. No pressure, and it doesn't cost anything to talk with his team.
He's a local home buyer who really knows Kansas City. If selling to him is the right choice, he'll give you a fair cash offer, and you can close on your timeline even in as little as 7 days.
He buys homes in any condition. No need for repairs, no fees, no surprises.
Just an honest, easy process so you feel good about your decision.
Want to talk to him? Call 816-330-6000 or go to rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
One of life's greatest mysteries has finally been solved.
Who let the dogs out? Spruce, spruce, spruce.
It's Spruce, the new hard-working, worry-free weed and grass killer that's safe for use around people and pets. When used as directed, spray the leaves for visible results in just 1 hour and dead weeds in just 1 day. You spray, they play. Weeds die by the next day. Find Spruce wherever weed killers are sold.
This afternoon, expect a brief period of light rain followed by mostly sunny skies later.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples. That was easy.
Subscribe to 96.5 The Fan on YouTube to watch the show from wherever you are.
Welcome back into The Drive. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. Rob, can you help me understand something? How many years of college football can you play? Like, what's the answer?
I mean, it's supposed to be 5, but it feels like players are playing more than 5.
So I always thought the answer was 4. You get 4 years on the field to play.
Yeah, okay, 4 on the field, red shirt gets hinky, but 4, you're right.
So, and that's interesting you even say the 5. There is a player right now that is filing a lawsuit against the NCAA to play football this year. He redshirted. He then played his freshman year, played his sophomore year, junior year, senior year. He played 4 years of college football. Well, now he's saying, hey, I got offered a pretty big NIL deal. I got offered a deal that was worth $450,000. I was going to go play wide receiver at UCLA, and you guys are telling me I can't. Your college career has to end at some point. I love college football. I really do. I love college football. We have to have some rules attached to this. You can't play 2 years of JUCO, then play 4 years at a university and then say, wait, that's not enough. It is enough. I'm sorry. There's another league for you to go to. If you're not good enough to play in that league, I don't know what to tell you. Go to Canada, go to NFL Europe, or go get a job. You played 4 years of college football. That's it. That's the end. So I'll be very intrigued to see. I don't know what the rules are anymore. The quarterback at Vanderbilt, he played JUCO football. He went to Vanderbilt. He has played 5 years of college football. He sued the NCAA because Vanderbilt was going to give him a new contract. He won. He's still allowed to play. No, we cannot do this. This is not right. I'll be excited to talk to the athletic director at Missouri, just some of the transfer rules and the NIL rules. I just don't know what it is right now. Bro, I'm sorry. You played 4 years of college football. It's reached its conclusion. Go to the league. Go to Canada. But your time here is up in the NCAA, so we'll see what ends up happening. Rob, we have spent a lot of time doing this over the summer, and you know what? I enjoy doing it. I like to call it list season. We can be real. There's not a lot going on right now. So the fact that you guys are listening to Sports Talk Radio, you know what? I appreciate you. I see the ratings. The listenership is down because there ain't a lot happening right now. The Royals are under 500. There's no Chiefs news. A little bit, I guess. They signed a couple of contracts. The Royals are out trading players. It's not a whole lot going on right now. So I like to call it list season. We got to talk about something. The newspaper writers, they got to write about something. It's 24 hours, 7 news cycle. We got to get it moving. It's list season. So I was reading a list from The Athletic, and they were ranking the top 25 teams of the last 25 years. I've really enjoyed this list season. It's 2025, so we can make a nice round number list. Oh, it's been great. So they ranked the top 25 NFL teams, and on this list, number 1 was a team that didn't win the Super Bowl. Yes, it was the 2007 Patriots. We all know how that story ended for the 07 Patriots. They lost in the Super Bowl to the Giants. They had them as the best team over the last 25 years. My question to you, can you be considered the best team over the last 25 years if your team did not win the Super Bowl? I still consider the 2007 Patriots to be the best team that we've ever seen. I looked this up earlier today as I was getting ready for the show. They didn't play a single-digit game for the first 2 months of the season. They didn't play a single-digit game until week 9 after Halloween. We're talking about for the first 2 months of the season, they were pummeling teams. I think that was the most complete, the most dominant. I think that's the best football team we've ever seen. I know they lost. I know how they lost. And it was one of the biggest upsets, if not the biggest upset we've ever seen in the National Football League. That doesn't take away from how great the 2007 Patriots were. Not at least for me. If you put every team we've seen over the last 25 years, I will pick the 07 Patriots against them. I don't think they go undefeated against every one of those teams, but I think the 07 Patriots win more of those games against every team than any other team that we've seen over the last 25 years.
I have no problem with the 07 Patriots being number 1, and I have no problem with teams saying, people saying if a team didn't win a title, they're still the best team I ever saw. Like, we don't talk about this a lot on this show, but it does come up here and there. I think the best version of the Chiefs was the 2020 Chiefs. The team that lost the Super Bowl, the Bucks, that was the most talented roster the Chiefs had. That was the best team I've seen in Kansas City. They went, 14? I don't know if they played 16 or 17 games that year. They had 2 losses, 1 real loss. They were only close to the divisional round because of an injury to Patrick Mahomes. They thumped the Bills, and if they were even a little bit healthy, the Chiefs were going to go back-to-back in 1920. We all saw it coming. They were taking care of business with ease that regular season. They did not win the Super Bowl. You still ask me, in the Mahomes era, what's the best version of the Chiefs? I would still tell you it's the 2020 Chiefs. So if I'm going to say that, I can't turn around and be like, well, the 07 Pats are the best team ever because no rings. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. So I have no problem with a person saying the best team is a team that did not win a title. That is fine by me. I think in pro sports, that is a fine metric to compare because you're right. That 07 Patriots team, like, the minute it was Halloween and people were like, oh yeah, they're going to go undefeated. You just had this feeling they were going to just smoke people, and they did. So yeah, I have no problem with them being number 1.
Yeah, just looking at the numbers from that season, I mean, Tom Brady completed 68% of his passes for 4,800 yards, 50 touchdown passes. He had 8 interceptions that year. You could argue that's probably the best version of Randy Moss that we've ever seen, which is crazy to say because he's Randy Moss. Randy Moss had 98 catches for 1,500 yards and had 23 touchdowns. And their number 2 wide receiver was Wes Welker, who led the NFL in catches with 112, had 1,200 yards and 8 touchdowns that year. I mean, just an absolute dominant performance. Their point differential was plus 320. They outscored teams by 320 points that year. Just absolute heavyweight, dominant team. Yes, I know what happened in the Super Bowl, but for my money, I think that's the best team that we've ever seen. I think that 2007 Patriots.
I apologize for interrupting. Is that the best wide receiver season we've ever seen?
I think so.
What Randy Moss did that year, no one touched it. First off, 21 touchdowns is absolutely
23.
Pardon me.
He had 23 touchdowns.
There are quarterbacks that don't do that in a season now in a passing league. Yeah, 98 catches for that yards and 20. That's the single greatest wide receiver season we have ever seen. Period. And it's no respect to Jerry Rice, Randy Moss. Good Lord.
No, that's a dominant year. That's why I said it's crazy to say that the best version of Randy Moss was in 2007. We're not counting some of those amazing years that he had with Minnesota, like a young prime Randy Moss. I mean, one of the more dominant players of all time. And he just came in very motivated, obviously had a lot to prove leaving Oakland, and went out and just put together an absolute monster season back in 2007. Coming up at the top of the hour, we are going to be joined by Laird Veach. He is the athletic director at the University of Missouri. Happy to talk to him coming up next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Cole Reagans from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with CDOT on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-471-9773. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-471-9773. 800-471-9773. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with, call Big Lou at 800-471-9773 or biglou.com. That's 800-471-9773 or biglou.com.
We're going to draw one name of a person that sold their car to GiveMeTheVin.com and give them $25,000.
Wow. Give Me the VIN is giving away $25,000 in cash every month.
Could you imagine being that person? Wouldn't that feel great?
That would be awesome.
Well, honey, you won.
Yeah. Oh my God. Heather Krager of Dallas, Texas won $25,000 and Give Me the VIN's big cash giveaway.
That's so cool.
You could be next to get a little more, maybe a lot more.
I guess that old Mercedes was worth more than I thought.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
Ring the bell. We've done it again. Golden Oak Lending has lowered rates to 4.875 fixed. Lower your monthly payment, get cash out, pay off credit cards, and best of all, make no mortgage payments for 2 months. Lock in this incredible 4.875 rate and get your cash in as little as 14 days. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
5.81 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity, qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
It's not too late to enjoy your summer with a new or improved deck. Go to PowellExteriorsKC.com to schedule a consultation today. Get your free estimate now, and you could be enjoying your new deck or patio in a matter of weeks. You are one click away from your best summer ever.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Up to 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models for 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified pre-owned vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months, plus a $200 gas card with purchase. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
When you buy from any of the Balderson Auto Group dealerships, you're getting the support from all of our dealerships.
Like our 100 service bays, collision, and detail centers.
And our free exclusive lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you that.
From north, central, south, the Balderson Auto Group has you covered. A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
Go to bagkc.com.
DQ presents How to Make Your Summer Take Flight. Just head into DQ for a new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard Treat. Treat your inner hero to an epic mix of sugar cookie dough, sprinkles, and cake batter flavor. Blend it all with legendary DQ soft serve, and it's enough to tempt Superman himself. Fly into DQ for our new Superman Cake Batter Cookie Dough Blizzard Treat before it's gone. And don't miss Superman. Only in theaters July 11th. DQ. Happy tastes good. Only at participating locations.
Member Week is here at Lowe's. Don't miss your chance to get up to 40% off hundreds of items like paint, tools, home essentials, and more. Shop our exclusive deals happening in-store and online now through July 18th. Not a rewards member? Join for free today and get ready to save more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Circa Millions and Circa Survivor are back with millions in guaranteed prizes. Details at circasports.com.
Circa Millions and Circa Survivor are back with a massive $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere. $21 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details. Hey, Kansas City, it's Dusty Likens, and in case you didn't already know, I'm here to tell you that you can watch all the shows here on 96.5 The Fan across all our social media channels. That's right. If you want to see our smiling faces as we talk about the best sports fans and teams in the country, subscribe to our YouTube channel or watch on Twitter, Facebook, and Twitch. Wake up with us, eat lunch with us, and go home with us. Your home for Kansas City Sports, 96.5 The Fan.
Thursday, August 7th on Fesco and Dusty is Travis Kelce Appreciation Day.
Kelce near side, he makes the catch and rolls into the end zone off the right shoulder.
Right here on your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
Excited to be joined by our next guest. We are celebrating the Missouri Tigers. We head to the phone lines right now to be joined by the athletic director of Mizzou, Laird Veach, joins us on the show today. Laird, really happy to have you join us today. Appreciate you popping on today.
You bet. Happy to be on with you and appreciate the time.
Absolutely. Let's just start with this. What is the general, day-to-day for an athletic director? I'm assuming some days it's about basketball, sometimes it's about football, sometimes it's about the Olympic sports. What's a general day-to-day for you?
Yeah, it's I have kids like a lot of us do, probably listening, and when I get home I always ask, so what'd you do today, Dad? And I usually say something like, well, I had a lot of meetings. I'd had a lot of phone calls, answered a lot of emails, made a lot of decisions, but mostly it was about money. The topics are usually about, how are we spending our resources, how are we generating more resources, how are we investing, and how are we supporting our coaches to go do what they do. So it is definitely a dynamic job. It pulls you in a lot of different directions, but I love it. I meet a lot of great people, and particularly at a place like Mizzou, it's pretty awesome.
I was just going to ask you that, just in terms of money. How much of your day-to-day job is just simply raising more money for whatever it is that you need? It feels like now with NIL, there's just more of a push than ever before to be competitive. It used to be about having the nice weight room and facilities. Now it seems how much money can you spend on your roster? How much of your job is just simply trying to raise money to keep up with everybody else in the conference?
Yeah, it is a lot. It needs to be. I mean, in the end, that's how I support our coaches and our student athletes is by, helping to provide the resources necessary to compete. And, part of it is certainly generating more and more resources because we've been making some good strides. We're doing a lot of good things, but we still have a lot of ground to make up when it comes to, particularly in the SEC, it is the top of the top. So you're competing with, from a resource standpoint, the wealthiest and most supported institutions and athletic departments in the country. So, you have to be willing to roll up your sleeves and compete and ask for support. I've been super thrilled with how our people are responding to those asks. But we also got to be really smart about how we're investing the money, right? It can't just be generating more and more. It has to be what, smart, difficult decisions are we making to really prioritize our resources, particularly now in this new environment where those dollars need to go to student athletes and that are on the front line that can help you compete and win.
I guess two-part question here, and we'll kind of talk more specifically about the teams. How is your job different from a group of five school like Memphis to now in the SEC? I'm also guessing that your job is very different post-COVID as opposed to pre-COVID. Everybody's job is a little bit different. How have you seen college athletics shift in your time going from a group of five to the SEC and also before and after COVID?
That's a good question. The role, I think back to I first became an athletic director at Memphis, the head job, so to speak, in 2019. So you just think about what's happened over the last 5-6 years in terms of change and focus and what you have to be managing every day, and it is dramatically different. Of course, the COVID thing was difficult for all of us, but it required a lot of focus and a lot of management attention on working us through that. And now, with NIL, with transfer portal, with, all the lawsuits and things we're managing these days, that managing that change is critically important, So the day-to-day focus is certainly different in some respects, but in others it's about, relationships, people, having the right people in place. And, that's where I look at, being in a Mizzou, how much I appreciate just having so many good people around me on the staff, coaches, the support across campus. It's a place that is very much aligned on being successful and doing what it takes to be successful right now. And we've got a lot of good people to work with to do it. So it makes the job a lot more fun.
Right now, we're talking to Laird Veach. He is the athletic director at the University of Missouri. This is going to sound like a very open-ended question. I'm sure you get asked this all the time. I love college sports. I love college football. I would probably argue at times college football is my favorite sport. I don't really know what the rules are right now. I don't know how long you can stay in college. It seems like any player can make however much amount of money. It seems like you can play for Missouri one year, then the next year you can play at LSU, and the next year you can go play at Arkansas. I'm not really sure how the rules are. How are you constantly evolving as an athletic department when the rules just don't really seem clear for anybody?
Yeah, we're obviously going through a massive evolution right now, and in so many ways, we are on a path to professionalizing more and more, right? I mean, I think everybody recognizes that. That's what, and I get questions all the time like, well, why did you guys decide to do that? Well, we didn't really decide to, right? The courts have told us that that's what needs to happen. And at the same time, we didn't really control that change ourselves. So when it gets kind of forced upon you, when that evolution gets forced upon you, it's kind of difficult, right? It's bumpy, it's challenging. You didn't navigate it or decide it yourself, so you're in many ways responding. And so what we've been really trying to do is focus on how do we use the opportunity to position ourselves and to think differently. And it is a huge opportunity in a lot of ways. It's challenging in some respects. I think the encouraging thing now is that with the House settlement and all the things I'm sure you've been reading about recently with this revenue share that we're able to, compensate and pay student athletes directly for the first time ever. And, we have this cap, and then there's this clearinghouse for any outside, like real NIL deals that can be possible. We are shifting back as of this moment, as of July 1st, we're shifting back into a more sort of structured, regulated environment, which I think is good. I think, to your point, we've been living in this world where we really haven't had any rules, so to speak. But that's what it certainly felt like, and how we've had to kind of navigate. But now there is at least some structure and some oversight, a new kind of sheriff in town with the Collegiate Sports Commission and them working with Deloitte to put together a really robust program that, I believe has some hope and chance to really bring some level of stability to this whole thing. We're clearly going to continue to evolve and change. We're never going back to what it was. But, hopefully we can get to a point where there is a little more stability in it. And, really for the benefit of the student athletes, now that many of them are going to be compensated directly, how can we find ways to really insert the academic mission back into the conversation and think about their experience as young people beyond the dollar. So we got to get back to that kind of discussion as well. And I think, getting this settlement done, some of the conversations that are happening at the congressional level will hopefully get to a point where that will provide some stability as well. So I am optimistic that we're going to get into a better time again. It's never going to be the same, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. And I think there's a lot of, exciting opportunity in the changes that are taking place.
Just as a fan and as an observer, I mean, one of the issues that I see is I kind of feel like college athletics are kind of stuck in this hybrid model. Like it held on to amateurism for so long, but as you mentioned, the courts have simply said, hey, that model doesn't work anymore. It's crazy to be asking an athletic director this, but there's been a lot of conversation about these guys becoming employees. I think a lot of these questions could be answered if it was more of an employee-employer relationship. You're an employee, I'm an employee. There are certain rules and regulations that I have to follow, that everybody has to follow, that seem very gray when it comes to these players. Can you see a time where we are talking about a sport that has a collective bargaining, that there is a union for the players, that they are looked at as employees, and we can look at this as what it is? This is a minor league system for the NFL and NBA. At least that's what it appears now, with some athletes making millions of dollars.
Can I see a time when that's the case? Yeah, I can see a time. I do think, eventually at some point we may get to that. I do hope we're at a point where we can have more and more representation from student athletes directly in that conversation. I do think we need to be really cautious and thoughtful about should student athletes truly be employees? And I say that because if you think about that for young people and the implications of being an employee, when you ask student athletes, just generally speaking across the board, they don't want that, right? They recognize that there's a lot of other obligations that come with being an employee, a lot of benefits we provide them. We provide them an unbelievable amount of, whether it's housing or nutrition, feed, travel, medical support. There's a lot of things we do for them now that suddenly become different when you're an employee, whether that's the taxability of those things, the responsibility that comes with being an employee, and the other obligations there. So many of them, they want that student-athlete experience, particularly when you think beyond really high-profile football and basketball players. If you think about our other sports, they're doing that because they want to be college students, right? They want the academics, they want the experience of competing, they want to be at that level, and there's now a compensation component too. So in many respects, if we can really lock onto this in the right way, I think it could be the best of all worlds. But it would be naive for me to say that we're not going to continue to be fighting some of those battles in the courts or otherwise as we move forward.
Right now, we're talking to Laird Veach. He is the athletic director at the University of Missouri. Just talking to him about the state of college athletics. This is one thing that people have proposed. I don't know if you're for it or against it. I would certainly be for a commissioner. The NFL has its individual owners, has its individual general managers, but it also has Roger Goodell as a commissioner. Are you for, or other athletic directors for, having a commissioner for college football?
Well, what I'm for is for dramatically streamlining and the operations, so to speak, of college football and college athletics in general, particularly at these highest levels, and eliminating layer upon layer of bureaucracy, right? So that's one of the real challenges that led to all of this. Is there were many of us in the profession across the country that wanted to evolve, right? We wanted to embrace the kind of direction things were going and kind of move away from amateurism and, compensate student athletes. But it was so difficult to get any kind of change or movement because, it's been such a big national bureaucracy and difficult to operate. So, we've got to get to a point where we can make decisions, effective decisions, quicker, better. And, many times having a sense, kind of one final authority or one governing body, and even up to a commissioner, that is a model that's tended to provide a lot more efficiency in decision-making and leadership. So, yeah, that could be a possibility. Regardless of whether it's a commissioner or otherwise, what we've got to get to point is a less bureaucratic, more streamlined governing system.
You know what? I'm just happy to know that your job and my job are very different in a lot of ways. But what you just described, that's everybody's job. I'm just happy to know that you go through the same things that the rest of us go through in our jobs when it comes to what you just described.
Yeah, we all have our politics. We all have our bureaucracy. There's no question. Yeah, and university settings and college athletics is maybe one of the more extreme. So we all have to manage it. That's why it's really important to have, really aligned good leadership in place because, that's how you navigate those things.
There are a lot of questions right now about the future of the college football playoff. We had a 4-team playoff. We then had a 12-team playoff. For some reason, just after 1 year, we're now unhappy with the 12-team playoff. We potentially want to expand it to 14 or 16 teams. There have been a lot of conversations about the model that is going to be used. Do you have an opinion? Do you have an idea of what model we should use to determine who wins the championship in college football?
I don't, and I wouldn't personally describe it as unhappy. I think there was last year, and particularly the latter part of the season, was one of the more exciting and, highly watched years in history, right? If not the. And so I think there's a lot of real good things that have come out of the expansion. I think it's how do we continue to make it better, right? And not necessarily be satisfied with that. I do think there'll be a point of diminishing returns on expansion at some point. I don't know if we're quite there yet. But I do think continuing to look for ways to make it better and better. And, the opportunities that are there and that platform are massive for an institution like Mizzou. If we're able to, compete and get into a college football playoff, particularly if you could think about us being a host of that, first round in the first or second round in the playoff and what that would mean, it's massive, right? So for all the things we do and invest in, the benefit in so many ways comes back to how it impacts our university, our community, our state, from a brand standpoint, from an economic standpoint, from an enrollment standpoint. So we have to really push for those kind of massive exposure opportunities. And, so we're going to continue to look at that and find ways to expand it and make it even better.
Laird, I don't know who you can pass this message to. You seem like the perfect, at least either I need to tell you or you can be a messenger to somebody else. We, the fans, do not want expansion for the NCAA tournament. We like the NCAA tournament just the way that it is. We went from 64 to 68. Now we're talking about expanding. Adding teams to the college football playoff, you can certainly sell me on. I'm not wild about the idea. You could sell me on it. I think a lot of fans are very much opposed to expanding the NCAA tournament. I know that's something that has been kicked around. I just want you to pass this message on to somebody.
I appreciate the input. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. No, I'm happy. I'm happy that at least now you know. We're talking to the athletic director for the University of Missouri for a couple of more minutes here. Let's just start with the football program. It seems like it is in a very, very comfortable place right now. You guys are generating more money than ever before. People are donating. You guys are adding construction and doing these things. You've won double-digit games the last couple of seasons. Your coach is happy. Your coach is in place. It feels like the football program, everything is rolling along fine right now.
Yeah, we are fortunate. We've had some real good momentum and success. Coach Drake is an exceptional leader, coach. I describe him much more as a CEO type, super intelligent, really relates to players well, great leader not only for our football program but for our institution in many ways. So we're super fortunate there. And, but I look at more as it's a start and it's momentum, and the last thing we can do is get comfortable, right? We've got to continue to elevate, continue to push. We can't be happy with just winning. We got to now. How do we take that next step, right? How do we get into a college football playoff? How do we continue to work down that path and work towards a national championship? I mean, those are the kind of things we need to be aspiring to. And it takes a lot of investment and a lot of time and a lot of commitment to continue to progress like that. But, we're certainly not going to, just accept where we're at. We're going to keep pushing.
Laird, I remember when Kansas didn't want to play Missouri in anything. It was, we don't need to play them. They left the conference. You guys now play Kansas in everything. You play them in basketball. I was at the basketball game earlier this year. I'll be at the football game coming up. You play them in baseball. You play them in hockey. You play them in women's basketball. You guys play KU in just about everything now.
Yeah, I think it's great. I love seeing that competition, that rivalry continue. The athletic director there and I have talked a few times, and in many ways want to keep as much of that going as we can. It unfortunately gets complicated at times in scheduling in the future, but I will tell you the intent and the desire is definitely there. And because we both recognize how important the rivalry is, but particularly in this day and age when we're all traveling over the country. Anything we can do to have a rivalry right next door that's meaningful and drives interest and passion is going to be a great thing. So I appreciate they have that perspective. I know we do, and we want to keep it rolling.
So my producer actually mentioned this to me earlier. I hadn't seen this. Missouri and K-State have agreed to play each other in basketball, but it's going to be an exhibition. It's not going to be a regular season game. Why was that decision made? And do you guys have any conversations? Is there a hope that we can transition this from a yearly exhibition thing to Kansas State and Missouri playing each other every year regular season in basketball?
Well, I feel in many ways the same way. I mean, that's my alma mater. You may not know that, but that's where I ended up. That's where I first started out, where I played football. So I'd love to see us continue to play K-State too, in many sports, many events. From a basketball standpoint, I'd love to see that continue too. Ultimately, I let coaches really drive those kind of decisions as much as possible, and really a lot of this initial one really came from a relationship with our coach and theirs, and really had a start that way. So hopefully it can continue. I'd love to see that. I know, there would be a desire to play more and to play, a true regular season contest. That didn't happen quite yet, but maybe we can get to that down the road.
Laird, I'll get you out of here with this last question, and we appreciate your time. I did actually know that you were from Manhattan, Kansas, and that you were K-State alma mater. I'll get you out of here with the fun trip down memory lane. I just want to hear one of your old Big 8 tournament stories, because anybody who was your age that was around during the Big 8 tournament, they talk about it like it was a magical time. I'm sure that at some point you came over to Kansas City for a nice Big 8 tournament game.
Oh, yeah, those were some great days down at Kemper Arena back in the day. I remember, staying at the Marriott there, taking the shuttle down, going to what was the name of the steak place that was right there by Kemper Arena. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but going there, I actually still have, even all the way back as a kid, because I grew up there in Manhattan and go to ball games. So I even have some of those old cups you could pick up that would be laying around, and I'd take all these dirty cups home like all the kids did back in the day. I still got a couple of those with old Big 8 names, pretty much worn off, that are still in my basement. So that goes way back.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to know that you have a lot of stories about the old Golden Ox down near Kemper Arena.
There you go. The Golden Ox. There you go. Golden Ox.
The Golden Ox. That is Laird Veach joining us on the show. He is the athletic director at the University of Missouri. Laird, really appreciate your time. Thanks for popping on today.
You bet. Happy to do it. Take care. MIZ.
Absolutely. That is Laird Veach joining us on the show today. He is the athletic director at the University of Missouri. You know, one thing that this city really needs? Maybe we don't need a downtown stadium. I mean, I'd love if we got a downtown baseball stadium, but do we really need a downtown stadium? You know what we need? For those of you that have lived in Kansas City a long time, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Rob, do you remember that old painting of that basketball player doing the backwards dunk? That when you were driving down to the West Bottoms, you were driving down to the Kemper Arena, I'm pretty sure that it was an old Reebok ad. We need somebody to repaint that. That should be, if you're driving to that part of the town, we need somebody to reinvest the money and put that basketball mural, that portrait of the guy doing the behind the back dunk. That's what we need. That's what our city is missing.
I remember that I would only see it I didn't go to Kemper that often, but you'd see it heading down there for the Big 8, Big 12 tournament. I remember it's an NCAA tournament game. It was like, oh, we're going to a basketball arena. Now, I would tell you, over time, wear and tear had done its work on that mural.
We got to put some more money towards it. That's what we got to do. We got to figure out some NIL money for that.
I mean, haven't we replaced it with a bunch of Chiefs and Instagram murals across the crossroads? I don't know if you've been down there recently. It's basically an Instagram-a-palooza in the crossroads. Isn't that the same energy?
No, we're going to fix it. That's what I'm saying. We got to put a collection up so we can have somebody paint it. We got to go back. We got to get back to the recipes, man. I actually never got a chance to go to the old Big 8 tournament. The people that went to the Big 8 tournament talk about it like it was a real special time.
Yeah, because I went to maybe one game with my parents. I don't have these fond memories of it because I was so young. But you know why it was cool? The 8 schools were 12 minutes away.
It was a good time.
You were playing Missouri, Kansas, Kansas State, Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Colorado, Nebraska, and Iowa State. No one was more than 6, 7. Every school could drive, so every school showed up. The Big 12 tournament now is great. It's a vibe. It's fantastic on T-Mobile Center. I don't want to speak ill of it. But you know what you don't get? You don't get every fan base down there. You know what you don't see in Kansas City in the Big 12 tournament? A lot of UCF fans. They don't really exist. You don't see a ton of Mountaineers rolling around. I saw no Sun Devils in town when I was down there this year because it's a flight and then some to get there. The Big 8 tournament was great because everyone was 4 hours away. Jump in the car and come to Kansas City.
I'm with you, man. You know me. I'm for bringing it back. I'm all happy to bring back the old Big 12 North. Can we bring back the Big 12 North? We didn't realize what we had with the Big 12 North. It was a lot of fun. It was a great league. Then greed rolled in. Everybody had to get a bigger piece of the pie. Missouri had to get a bigger piece. A&M, Nebraska, everybody had to get a bigger piece of the pie. Can we just reset and get back to the leagues the way we used to have them? The Pac-12, the West Coast had a league. The South had a league. The North, the Northeast, everybody had their own league, man. Now, who knows? We're just random teams thrown together from money and greed.
You don't like the idea of Rutgers having a conference game with Oregon this year?
No, I don't like that idea. No.
I saw a thing. It was one of those like Instagram videos, like projecting every school's record at the end of the season. It, like Nebraska's popped up, like week 2, UCLA, and I'm like, what is this? What are we doing?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. No, that does not interest me. Actually, not.
It's still, as a KU fan, I looked when the Big 12 schedule came out for football this year. Oh, KU's heading to Orlando. Super, just great.
You know what? I actually saw their Vegas schedule. It's not a bad schedule if you're a KU fan and want to go out there. It's not bad.
They're playing the least interesting games, Notre Dame and Syracuse. I mean, it's fun to be out there, but they're playing Notre Dame and Syracuse.
I mean, I'm interested in seeing them play Syracuse. We can see Carmelo's kid.
I mean, I guess. I mean,
you're not interested in seeing him going up against Darren Peterson?
Do you know anything else about Syracuse team?
I don't know nothing about KU's team.
They got the best player in the country. That's all you need to know.
I know. I know they got him. I know they got him, and I know Flory fake left so he could get a raise. That's all I know about this KU team. And you guys love El Marco Jackson. That's all I know. I don't know much. I mean, nobody knows in November about college basketball. Just play some guys that I know, play some teams that I've heard of before. Yeah, you can always get me excited about that. Coming up on the other side, there was I got an email about some over-under for some Chiefs wide receiver numbers. Let's go through them together. Keep it right here, so drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hey guys, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive. Summer is officially here, and that means the sun is out and the grill is hot and life is calling you. But what if you're just not feeling it? Low energy, brain fog, maybe you have no drive. It might not just be your age. It could be low testosterone. At Heartland Men's Health, they know what you're going through, and they know exactly how to help. Low T can lead to poor sleep, weight gain, low sex drive, and zero motivation, but it doesn't have to be that way. Do you know what the first step is? It's taking the free Low T quiz at heartlandmenshealth.com. It only takes 2 minutes. Then schedule your $99 consult. That includes lab work and a full medical review. And if your treatment starts that day, that means your visit is on the house. Don't wait. Heartland Men's Health is changing lives in Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City. Call this number, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com today. That one phone call can change your life, can change your summer. So get back to feeling like yourself. Pick up the phone and call Heartland Men's Health today.
Member Week is here at Lowe's. Don't miss your chance to get up to 40% off hundreds of items like paint, tools, home essentials, and more. Shop our exclusive deals happening in-store and online now through July 18th. Not a rewards member? Join for free today and get ready to save more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
You want to see the ring? Here, I have a picture.
Wow, look at you.
I know, right? Went to Hellsberg and customized the whole thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, well, I showed them all her inspiration photos, picked the setting, the diamond. It's actually pretty fun. Now for the real hard part, asking her.
Well, congrats, buddy. The ring looks awesome.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
Flooded bathroom? AC on the fritz? When things go wrong, you need reliable service fast. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter and take $50 off any HVAC, plumbing, or electrical repair over $200. The pros at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to fix the problem. Over 40 years experience, more than 8,000 5-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee means you can trust Hamilton to bring comfort and calm back to your home. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
The other place with 5 great Kansas City locations, Shawnee, Olathe, downtown Overland Park, Mission, and Belton. Stop by this summer and enjoy their beautiful patios, all while listening to some live music at most locations Thursday through Saturdays. And on game day, they have enough big screens that you'll never miss a minute of the action, all while enjoying some great food and beer specials. So make The Other Place your summer headquarters. The Other Place, Shawnee, Olathe, downtown Overland Park, Mission, and Belton. Check out theotherplace.com.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And we cut to size, because just like taxes and BS, we think metal is better when cut. Metal Supermarkets, the convenient stores for metal. Find a store or shop online at metalsupermarkets.com.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
Brought to you by Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Visit ClimateControlKC.com. Climate Control has been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years and know how to get your cooling system ready to handle the scorching hot summer. Schedule your AC system tune-up for just $59. Don't wait. Visit ClimateControlKC.com today. Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Good afternoon. Problem, North Kansas City. It's 169 Highway southbound, just past 9 Highway. The right lane is blocked, and you've got a crash. Let's see, 69 southbound past 119th. The right lane is blocked. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val, 96.5, the Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
This summer, Casey's has 89-cent fountain and frozen drinks. But if you don't have 89 cents, you could check your center console, or dig between your couch cushions, or ask Grandma for $1, or just use your credit card. We take those too. 89-cent frozen and fountain drinks at Casey's, all summer long. Restrictions may apply. See store for details.
It's been a rough day for me. It's been a rough week for me. My queen, Joy Taylor, is unemployed. I'm here if she needs a shoulder to cry on. My friend Danny Parkins is in the wind a little bit. We don't know what's going to happen. There's been a lot of changes over at Fox Sports 1. One of them is my family. The other one, I would like to make part of my family. But now you guys are hurting too. From Tom Pelissero, the Chiefs have made the decision to move on from Justin Ross. Now I know some of you in the back are snickering. Why is this a big deal? Because you weren't there. I remember when a Justin Ross practice video would go triple platinum on the internet. I remember when a Justin Ross practice video would be the lead story on the news or your favorite sports talk show. Oh, were you guys excited? That one great year that he had at Clemson, and you were just hoping, wishing, praying that he could get some of that past glory. Now that didn't happen, and I'm not here to make fun of Justin Ross. Man, you made it to the NFL. You got to play on a Super Bowl championship winning team. You got to touch the field in an NFL game. In no way am I trying to make light of Justin Ross's situation. I'm making fun of you guys. We're talking about a 3-time training camp MVP here. I haven't forgot some of the wild things you guys were saying about Justin Ross back in the day. Who's it going to be this year? because he was the 2-time winning MVP. Last year, it was Carson Steele. I'll never forget what you guys did to Carson Steele. Oh, it was Crocky J, and he had T-shirts, and oh, you guys loved him. He fumbled that one time. Y'all was like, hey, man, you got to get Sunshine out of here. Who's it going to be this year? Is it going to be Brashard Smith? Jalen Royals feels like a really good training camp MVP possibility. Justin Ross, I want to bid you adieu. You will always live in Chiefs fans' memory. You're going to be one of those players that 5-10 years from now, when you and your buddy are sitting in front of the couch or sitting on the couch in front of the TV and you're drinking a beer and you mention a random Chiefs player, hey, do you remember Boomer Grigsby? Everybody knows who I'm talking about. Hey, do you remember Casey Printers? If you're a real Chiefs fan, you know. 10 years from now, when the Chiefs are playing out by the legends and somebody brings up Justin Ross, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about. Training camp all-star in 2022, 2023, and 2024. Thank you, Justin. They should put him, you know how they have the Ring of Honor at Arrowhead? They need to have flags up for players who have dominated St. Joe. They need their own Ring of Honor in St. Joe. That's what they need. Justin Ross, good luck to you, man, in your next occupation, man.
By the way, not to defer from Justin Ross for a minute, I do not believe he was 2024 training camp hero. That was Luis Rees-Zammit. Remember when they signed the rugby star? Chiefs fans were like, I don't know if you guys know this, but they changed the kickoff rules, and he's about to be a star.
That's a good one. That's a good one. No, that's a good one.
He was Carson Steele before Carson Steele. And
that's
then
a real good one.
There was remember that week where they were off of camp, and he took the SI swimsuit model to Worlds of Fun, and everyone's like, oh, Luis Rees-Zammit, SI models and Worlds of Fun, what a time. And then I don't know he's in the league right now. I know he didn't make the Chiefs, but I don't think he made it anywhere.
That man was over here. That man went over here. He went to Jack Stack and Q39 one time. He went to Worlds of Fun with that model. We've never heard from him again. That man came over here for a work release program. He was an international student. He wasn't an NFL player. That man came over here for 6 months. He partook in the culture and then went back home. That man went to Mosaic one time and was out of here. I forgot about Luis Rees-Zammit. First team all training camp. Oh, there's some other first team all training camps. Jody Fortson's one of those guys too. Definitely first team all training camp.
Jody Fortson and Justin Ross are the Spider-Man meme. They point at each other. I remember when people were like, Carrington, he has one catch in one game. It's a touchdown. You know, expedite that, put those numbers in an exponential equation. And he's due for 17. No! He's just a guy.
What always makes me laugh about this.
We had Jason Dunn on the show, and he was like, I think he's a great player. What are we doing?
What always makes me laugh about this is there are some things that are a cycle. And you know what? I just accept that sometimes that's the cycle. I know where our show fits in this Chiefs cycle. There's going to be, and I know it. Who's that undrafted tight end they got from Clemson?
Oh, that's the kid.
Oh, you guys are going to be super excited about him. I know it. I can already tell you what the conversation's going to be.
It's Jake something or other.
Hey, man, whenever Travis Kelce's done, I mean, we kind of got his replacement right here, Noah Gray, and this undrafted guy, they're going to be the 1-2 punch. I mean, I can already see it starting. And then Robin here and I will come on here and be like, hey, man, I don't know. Why you guys being so negative, man? Why you guys always hating? You guys always do that, man. That's why I listen to other stations. I hate you guys, man. You always do this. Turning the dial. Do this all the time. That's the cycle. That's the motion. What's that? The circle of life?
By the way, there's another step in that circle. Someone will text in and be like, I don't know if you guys have seen Chiefs Hive on Twitter, but they're saying that he's the... And I'm like, I'm sorry. Me and Chiefs Hive don't see the same.
It ain't no Chiefs Hive. And this ain't, I ain't got no beef. This is Seth Kaiser's doing.
That's fair.
Seth Kaiser is y'all Pro Football Focus. I'm telling you. If Seth Kaiser likes somebody, y'all going crazy. Y'all going crazy for whoever he like. It don't matter who it could be. It could be their 4th-string quarterback. I don't know, man. We got something. Hey, we kind of bring him up a little bit. Hey, in a couple years, he going to be worth the 2nd-round pick. I'm telling you. Seth Kaiser do one little film review. Y'all going crazy. Shout out to Seth Kaiser. I'm telling you. Text line is saying, hey, you got to be fair to Jody Fortson. He had some injuries. No, you're right. He did have some injuries. I get it. He did have some injuries. And sometimes that happens. Again, I'm not here to make fun of Justin Ross. Justin Ross, hey, the fact that he overcame those injuries and made an NFL roster and made a team as an undrafted guy, hey, man, salute. I'm serious. I'm more making fun of y'all. Y'all do this all the time. It's just fun. It's fun. You know? You get all excited and, I get it. I understand. I also think that's part of when the Chiefs are as good as they are, like, they're not the underdog. So you kind of got to, find and pick a spot to, root for an underdog, You got to find somebody. I'm telling you, this year, it's going to be that undrafted tight end from Clemson. That's going to be you guys. That's going to be your underdog this year that you're going to cling on to. He's going to make an amazing catch at training camp. And you guys are going to be going crazy. That 7th-round running back, Rashard Smith from SMU, you guys can't wait. He's going to make one cut in a drill in which you can't tackle anybody. It's going to be like, oh, man, we got something. Veach. Okay, all right. Hey, y'all do it.
When they compared Derek Gore to Priest Holmes.
That was a good one. They did do that.
That was a bad day.
They did do that.
He has that vision. Okay, we have to stop. We just have to stop.
Darius Fountain. Remember Darius Fountain?
Darius Fountain was a popular one.
Darius Fountain was a good one. Darius Fountain. Oh, my goodness. I forgot about the Derek Gore. They were comparing him to Priest Holmes for a while. That was crazy. I'm serious. That was crazy. I was like, wait, what? Darwin Thompson. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about this seriously, because you guys are actually kind of doing this to the Royals too. Sometimes the best thing you can be is the athlete that we never get to see. I'll explain. Keep it right here, so Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Catch Hall of Famer Denny Matthews every Monday at 3.
And gone, Bobby Witt.
On your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
This is a special notice to all U.S. taxpayers with back taxes to the IRS. Billions in tax relief is now being made available to struggling taxpayers, giving thousands, even tens of thousands of dollars in savings away to those who qualify. If you're facing wage garnishment, threatening letters, audits, liens, levies, or already in a payment plan, you can now expedite the resolution to your tax problem, end collections, and even qualify to reduce a large portion of what you owe. Stop IRS Debt has established a relief hotline for you to call to check what savings and options you qualify for. Dial 800-317-1890. With many people facing job loss and rising cost of living, these special IRS initiatives are designed to aid delinquent taxpayers with the relief that they need to get a fresh start. For a free consultation to see what savings you qualify for, call 800-317-1890. 800-317-1890. 800-317-1890.
Hey, Drew and Jonathan Scott here. Build a customized renter's policy with American Family Insurance so you can protect your tandem bike on the go. Thief! Oh, he is struggling with that two-seater. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Some exclusions may apply. Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI and its operating companies. 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hi, I'm Trisha, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company, where we're all about you. Your style, your budget, your dream engagement ring. Are you looking for a style that's classic, modern, vintage, or something in between? Not sure? At Shane Company, we're here to help. We have so much style under one roof because a friend knows you like options. Drop by or visit us at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Ahoy, mateys! Set your course for Harris, Kansas City on Saturday, July 26th, where over $100,000 in prizes are waiting at our treasure chest drawing. One lucky winner will take home $50,000 in cold, hard cash. And every 15 minutes, you could snatch up to $2,500 in free play. Plus, earn 5-time extra entries every Saturday night through July 26th to boost your odds of striking gold. It's the summer's hottest treasure hunt, only at Harris, Kansas City. Yo-ho-ho!
21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Still working the two-car crash down south, 69 southbound, just past 119th, blocking the right lane. Kansas side 70 westbound past 57th. It is the right lane blocked by a stall. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val. 96.5, The Fan. Traffic.
Be sure to follow The Drive on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
All right, we were having a little fun and we were joking around. I think most of you know that. But this is a serious take. I'm serious. This is a serious take. Sometimes the best kind of athlete you can be is the athlete that we never get to see. You keep a lot of your allure if you never get on the field. Sometimes the worst thing you can do is actually play. Now, I don't know how serious this was, but I did see a little bit of social media earlier. I was on Sirius earlier, so I just was working whenever the trade happened. And I saw a group of people that were upset about the Cam Devaney trade. I then came in. I usually come in. I try to talk to Cody and Gold one time during their show. Hey, how's the text line? How's things going? How are you guys doing? You know, just office camaraderie. I could tell that Gold and Cody fired up. Oh, you won't believe what the text line is saying about Cam Devaney. I looked at it, I was kind of puzzled. Like, for real? Like, this is the big deal to people? And they were laughing and joking about it. You know, we were just having a little fun, little guy time. And then I went on his Pro Baseball Reference page. He's 28 years old, and he's never made it to the majors. Now, the Royals could be wrong. I mean, that's very possible that the Royals are wrong. I mean, teams get things wrong all the time, right? Whit Merrifield got a late start. So I'm not here telling you that we know Cam Devaney won't work out, but I'm telling you that they traded a 28-year-old player who has been in the minor leagues for 6 seasons. He has played 600 games in the minor league level, and they haven't brought him up yet. Like, the Royals don't think he's it, but you haven't got a chance to see him. He hasn't failed. And that's the best thing you can do. You remember when Johnny Giavotella was here? Oh, my goodness. Johnny Giavotella, you got to play this guy. What are they doing? What are they doing? Very mad at it. Sometimes you keep your value if nobody gets to see you play, because then you never fail. You never fail if that's the case. You're always that prospect in your mind. Imagine what would have happened. Like, let's say, trying to think of the guy's name. Adalberto Mondesi. That's who was on the tip of my tongue. Let's say that Adalberto Mondesi had popped his Achilles at 21 years old and they just couldn't play anymore. The way you talk about Adalberto Mondesi, hey, man, the Royals had one of the greats. They had one of the best prospects. He was really going to be something. He was going to be Jose Altuve. You would talk about him very differently, but he kept playing, and then you got a chance to see him. So I'm saying this Cam Devaney guy, I don't know. I'm not here to tell you that I do know. I haven't watched a lot of Omaha Storm Chasers baseball. Whenever we talk to somebody from the Storm Chasers, he's not one of the players that we ask about. You guys aren't that interested in how Cam Devaney is doing. He's a 28-year-old minor leaguer. And if he turns his career around and gets on the field, that will be a tremendous accomplishment. Honestly, it really will be. He has over 2,000 ABs. So far, he is a minor league player. I can't be that up in my arms that they traded him. I really can't be. And if the Royals are wrong, then they're wrong. And you can absolutely crush them for it. Perfectly fine. You can absolutely crush them for it if they're wrong. But I don't have it in me to be that mad that the Royals traded a player that has quite literally never played for the Royals. And at this point, we're not talking about potential. He's not 22 or 23. There's still a lot of potential left. Bro, you're 28. You're 28. You've been in AAA for the last 3 years with multiple organizations. It's not like this is just the Royals thing. Milwaukee never brought you up. The Royals didn't bring you up. You're a minor leaguer. Nothing wrong with that. That's a higher level of baseball than a lot of people. I saw this stat. It blew my mind. This has nothing to do with Cam Devaney, but still, it's a mind-blowing stat. Rob, did you know that if you put every single major leaguer there's ever been, every player who has ever played in Major League Baseball, you would still have less than half of the capacity of the Guardians' home stadium? Think about that, Rob. Think about how long they've been playing baseball. If you put every single major league player in there, it'd be less than half of the capacity where the Guardians play their home games. I just simply bring that up because it's really, really hard to get to the major leagues. Very, very few. They've been playing baseball for over 100 years. Very few people get to this level of baseball. So it's not a shame if you don't get there. But two major league teams have told you we don't think he's a major league player. The Brewers have told you that, and the Royals have told you that. So again, Rob, I don't have it really in my spirit to be that up in arms that Cam Devaney got traded earlier today.
I might be part of the problem with Cam Devaney specifically because, and it's the Johnny Giavotella syndrome. It happens more in baseball than football, but it happens in football. It's it cannot be worse than him. With Johnny Giavotella, Chris Getz was bad every day. And Royals fans had picked a player, this guy cannot be worse than that guy. We see it in football with bad franchises all the time. You're going to see this here with the Colts. They're going to start one quarterback. Fans are going to scream, why isn't the other one playing? Because what is on the bench is always the mystery of, it has to be better than that. But the Royals offense has been so bad this year, and 28-year-old Cam Devaney was hitting pretty well in Omaha. And I, as a Royals fan, was watching them bring up a bunch of guys that, let's be honest, they're quadruple A players. No offense to Nick Lofton, no offense to John Rave. They are quadruple A players. Not major leaguers, but too good for triple A. I thought if you're going to give all of those guys the shot, why not give one to Cam Devaney? So it's possible. I'm way off base. The Royals are right. He's not even a quadruple A player. He's 28 in triple A. He's just too old for the level. Or maybe he's, Mike Aviles, and he has one or two good years, and he needed the chance. Either way, I think fans drew themselves to Devaney and Giavotella and Justin Ross and whoever because they thought the unseen has to be better, and it's just they have picked a player to love because a source of frustration who is actually playing.
And I certainly get the comparison you're making with Mike Aviles. I'm not here to poke holes in it. Mike Aviles was a major league player by the time he was 27 years old. He was a major league player. He played in 100 games at 27 years old. Cam Devaney was in AAA for Milwaukee. So he's not even Mike Aviles. Mike Aviles, you're right, got a very late start in his career. Mike Aviles played from ages 27 to 36. He got 10 years in the league, what HUD always talks about. Man, that is the exception. That ain't the norm. Normally, if you haven't done what you're supposed to do athletically by 27, 28, it usually ain't going to happen for you. It does for some people. With Merrifield, you just mentioned Mike Aviles, two great examples. Those are the exceptions, not the norm. Someone texted in. C-Dot, my main issue is is who we got for him. I'd rather have a bullpen arm with a 4.5 ERA than Adam Frazier. Okay, I mean, I get it. I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong there. That's perfectly fine. That's fine. I got it. I just, it's Cam Devaney, you know? I get it, you know? I understand. That's it. I just wanted to tell you guys that I understand. That was all. I would highly encourage you guys to check out our interview earlier today with Laird Veach. Really good interview. I just randomly hit my mind to tell you that again, but Laird Veach was really good. If you want to talk about like the business side of college football, college athletics, I thought Missouri's AD was really good about that. We had KU's AD on the show yesterday. We have Missouri's today. Tomorrow, we will have Kansas State's athletic director, Gene Taylor, will be on the show. I also got a chance earlier today to catch up with Jerome Tang. We'll play that for you tomorrow, too. We're going to celebrate K-State. And Rob, tell me if I'm incorrect. I believe Avery Johnson's coming on the show tomorrow. That's what you told me. You told me Avery Johnson was calling in tomorrow. Is that true?
The schedule shows both Chris Kleiman and Avery Johnson as they're a week away from fall camp out in Manhattan.
They're going over to Ireland.
They're going over to Ireland, yeah.
All right. Well, shout out to K-State. Who are you rooting for in K-State, Iowa State?
Pass.
You're not going to tell me?
It's like when I watched K-State Mizzou a few years ago. I felt dirty cheering for either program.
Okay. All right. I just wanted to know. I just was curious to know. Coming up at the top of the hour, why don't we do the over-under thing with the Chiefs receivers? So I have the over-under. It just came out. I have the over-under for Hollywood Brown, Rashee Rice, Travis Kelce, and Xavier Worthy. Why don't we go through it together? We'll do that next. Keep it right here. So Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Still working the two-car crash down south, 69 southbound, just past 119th, blocking the right lane. Kansas side 70 westbound past 57th. It is the right lane blocked by a stall. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val. 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
When you've got real work to do, Metal Supermarkets will help you get it done fast. With a huge variety of metals in stock, we can help no matter what job comes your way. And we cut to size. Because just like taxes and BS, we think metal is better when cut. Metal Supermarkets, the convenient stores for metal. Find a store or shop online at metalsupermarkets.com.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
It's not too late to enjoy your summer with a new or improved deck. Go to PowellExteriorsKC.com to schedule a consultation today. Get your free estimate now, and you could be enjoying your new deck or patio in a matter of weeks. You are one click away from your best summer ever.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-949-1441. That's 800-949-1441. 800-949-1441.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder. for a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter. Or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
The countdown is on. Save the date because Diamonds Direct's Designer Summer Sale kicks off this Monday, July 21st with 20% off the entire store. Engagement rings, diamond studs, fashion jewelry, and more. Want early access? Book your appointment now because the best pieces go fast. Don't miss the jewelry event of the season next week only at Diamonds Direct and designer appearances July 25th through 27th. Top designers from New York and LA with their exclusive collections. Visit diamondsdirect.com to book your appointment and start saving.
If you love finding the deal and a bargain brings you bliss, the Hy-Vee 5-day sidewalk sale is cause for celebration. This Wednesday through Sunday, stock up and save big on dozens of pantry staples like Roma pizzas, 4 for $10, Pepsi 24 packs $9.99, Frito-Lay's chips just $1.99, Gatorade 8-pack bottles just $5.99, and Sunbelt granola bars 4 for $10. Hurry to the huge 5-day sidewalk sale this week only at Hy-Vee.
I love Hy-Vee, and I love the fact that they're always finding new ways to save me money, like lower prices in every department. And on top of that, I save so much money at the pump with Hy-Vee's awesome fuel saver deals. Monday, July 21st, earn a 40-cent discount per gallon with every $60 in groceries you purchase. So you can stock up for the summertime fun and stack up all of those fuel savings. Seeing that number roll back at the pump is so much fun, and saving money's even better. And you can do it with gas and groceries only at Hy-Vee.
Century Roofing remains the best roofing company to call for insurance claims from storm damage, roof repair, and inspections throughout Kansas City. They were just voted as both the best roofing company in Johnson County for the 4th straight year and the best roofing company in all of Kansas City by readers of the Johnson County Post and the KC Star. So trust the pillars of strength and go with locally owned and female-owned Century Roofing at CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength.
This report is brought to you by Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka in Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka in Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Proud partner of the Kansas City Royals. Each can of Surfside is only 100 calories, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Grab it at the K or ask for it at your favorite bars and liquor stores.
Have you watched Die Royal Decree? How about Chiefs Take Tuesday? Or would you rather Wednesday? Follow us on Instagram at TheFan965 for exclusive video content, giveaways, and behind-the-scenes action. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
All right, Rob. Coming up in this hour, I promise you we will play. I got a chance to interview CC Sabathia. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I'll play that for you coming up in just a little bit. I actually talked to him yesterday, but we just didn't get a chance to play it with all the Chiefs things. You know what? I want to play it for you. It's just 10 minutes. You can sit back and listen to CC Sabathia. We'll do that in just a bit. But before we do that, I think this is very, very important. I got an email that let me know that the over-unders were out for the Chiefs pass catchers. And you know what? I want to go through them. They have Hollywood Brown at 48.5 catches. His over-under for yards is 600. They have Rashee Rice at 72.5. His over-under for yards is 900. Travis Kelce is 74.5. His over-under on yards is 700 this season. Xavier Worthy, they have catches at 69.5. They have 825 yards for Xavier Worthy. Rob, I'm curious what hits your ear first when you hear all of those numbers. I think it's a couple of things. Number one, if Rashee Rice is healthy for, let's say he plays 14 games this year. I don't know what the schedule is, what the timeline is going to look like. We will get that information, I believe, at some point, probably at some point here in the next 3 weeks. I don't think he's going to be suspended this year. I think that probably happens next year. So the fact that you will go 2 NFL seasons without getting suspended, hey, it actually sounds all right. 900 to me seems like a really good number. I would bet that this year Rashee Rice has 1,000 yards. I think it was trending that way before the injury happens. If he's healthy this year and plays in 14 games, I like Rashee Rice to hit the over-under on 900 yards. I would say at this point, And I know you guys get mad when we talk about this, and I'm not here to upset anybody today. Travis Kelce's a 700-yard tight end. At this point, then, we are all acknowledging that we do not care anymore what he does in the regular season. And I'm perfectly fine with this. I remember saying this last year that I thought he had turned into Frank Clark, and you guys yelled at me for saying that. There was a time there where Frank Clark, you didn't care how many sacks he got in the regular season. That was not a concern. We didn't talk about it anymore. The point with Frank Clark was we only care about what you do in January as long as you can elevate your play. At that point, that's all we care about. If you're telling me that Kelce is a 700-yard tight end, that's where we are. And that's fine. I'm perfectly cool with that if that's what Travis Kelce is going to be in his last year. Hey, we're cool if you take a back seat. If you're going to be a third, fourth option for this team, get in where you fit in. But on 3rd and 5 against Baltimore in the postseason, you know we're calling your number and we need you to step up and play big and make a big catch that helps us get to a 4th straight Super Bowl. I'm fine with that being the role for Travis Kelce. You know we love a good cross-sport comparison, a good basketball comparison. I'm perfectly fine with Travis Kelce being Al Horford at this stage in his career. Al Horford's a very valuable player to have. But we all know what Al Horford is. He really ain't guarding anybody. But you know what Al Horford can still do? He can still stand out there in that corner and knock down threes. Still really productive. He can still rebound a little bit. He'll get up and down the floor. Still a really good passer. And you don't mind having Al Horford on your team. Now you need a Jaylen Brown. You need a Jason Tatum. You need a Drew Holiday. But Al Horford can start for your team and be a very productive player. I'm fine with that being the transition for Travis Kelce. I'm fine with Hollywood taking a lead role, Rashee Rice taking a lead role, Xavier Worthy taking a lead role, you giving Noah Gray more opportunities, more chances to get on the field and having a more even split in terms of snaps and targets and usage. I'm fine with you using the running backs out of the backfield and keeping Travis Kelce as healthy and upright as possible. So for those final 3-4 games of the season, he can be at his absolute best and looking to help you get back to another Super Bowl. Travis Kelce, 700 yards over under. That is a very, very low number for a player like him.
Maybe it's because this show has been on the front lines of explaining this all offseason. That number did not hit my ear weird. We talked about it on the show. He cannot lead the team in targets this year. He cannot lead the team in receiving yards this year. He cannot lead the team in catches this year. If Travis Kelce at the end of the season leads the team in targets, catches, and yards, something's gone wrong. Rashee Rice at this point in his career is a better pass catcher when healthy than Travis Kelce. I think last year, once Xavier Worthy kind of got into the rhythm of the offense, you saw he's more valuable to this offense than Travis Kelce is. And there is nothing wrong with that. You use Al Horford. There are dozens of examples of veteran guys who can be helpful role players, and there is nothing wrong with that. But at 35 years old, where he's probably in the last year of his contract with the Chiefs, which might be the last year of his NFL career, on a tight end body, there is no reason for that guy to be leading the team in targets, receptions, or yards. He needs to be a role guy. So when I see that number, I don't worry, how are they why is it so low for Travis Kelce? I think Vegas is adjusting to what everyone should be adjusting to. He's now option 2 or 3. He can be great in that role. I mean, remember when people are not gonna like this comparison. Remember when Tony Gonzalez was a Falcon? They were not throwing to him first and foremost. They were throwing to Julio Jones. That was the top of the offense. It was Julio Jones. Matt Ryan was not dropped back and we find 37-year-old Tony Gonzalez. It was Julio Jones. That should be Patrick Mahomes' year. Drop back, try to find Rashee Rice, try to find Xavier Worthy. If it's not there, you got your safety blanket of Travis Kelce, but he's a role player, so that doesn't hit me weird. What hit me weird is Hollywood Brown numbers are just the most wild ride to me because the fan base and a lot of people out there think that he's this, untapped talent. But outside of basically 1 year of his career, he's never been that guy. So that number to me was more surprising that Vegas thinks that he's option 4 or 5 in this offense than Travis Kelce because Travis Kelce's a role player, and that's fine.
Yeah, if this is what you get from Hollywood Brown this year, I think you're actually pretty happy. I think the Xavier Worthy numbers are a little bit too high. Am I crazy in thinking that?
I think the Xavier Worthy numbers are built on the idea the offense is going to be high-flying and explosive again. And he is the burner who can make the plays. He had a good Super Bowl. The first 3 quarters don't count, apparently. He came on strong at the end of the season last year. He was 800-yard-ish receiver last year. I don't have the numbers pulled up in front of me. I think there are reasons to be high on Xavier Worthy. That one didn't surprise me either.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. I mean, last season, Xavier Worthy had 638 yards on 100 targets. Now, if you think of amount that they threw him the ball based on receptions, to give you an idea, he had 59 catches. They threw it to him 98 times. That's a big number of completion versus incompletion based on when you throw him the ball. So that's just that's an abnormal number, I think, for a player. He had 638 yards last year. When you give him an extra 175 this year, that still hits the under. I would consider that to be a pretty big step up for a player. I think we know, at least in this offense, they kind of spread the ball around a little bit. Everybody's going to get a chance to eat. Maybe, just possible. Vegas is too low on Kelsey. He's still at 850 yard tight end. That cuts into the Xavier Worthy. Who knows when Rice is coming back? That number 825 hits my ear a little bit funny whenever I hear it, 825 for Xavier Worthy. I think you'd be fine with 775, 800 from him. He has 4 to 5 touchdowns this year, helps you a little bit in special teams, makes some big plays down the field. But, if this offense is healthy this year, and you got a healthy Rice, a healthy Hollywood Brown, Kelsey, Noah Gray, I'm just not sure if that volume is going to be there for him to get to this number.
I'm looking this up because I'm trying to figure out the line of demarcation. But there was a moment, let's just use Buffalo as the example. From the Buffalo game on, he averaged per game about 50 yards a game. He gets about 7-8 targets and about 5 catches for 50 yards a game. And his average, catch per route was about 10 yards. That seems to be the moment that people point to, he started to figure out. Because look at his game logs. Back when I called him not in the circle of trust, there was reason for it. Then the Bills games happens, and all of a sudden, he's a consistent guy for this Chiefs offense with a lot of yards per catch. He's starting to show that deep ball ability. He's got the explosive ability. He didn't play in the Denver games. A little bit of fun with numbers here, too, if you want to be negative. But I think people point to that moment as it clicked. And ever since it clicked, he was basically a 50-yard guy every day. 50 times 16, let's just say that number is around 800. So I think that's how Vegas gets to their number. And that number did not include the postseason, where I think he was even better in the postseason than at the end of the regular season.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this, and I don't know. It's a very interesting exercise of kind of what they think. I will say this. If you give me right now the opportunity to press the button for Hollywood Brown, and you're telling me he's a 49-catch, 615-yard guy, I think you have to take it if you're the Chiefs. He might end up being better than that, sure. Maybe you got higher expectations, but just based on his injury history with what we've seen from him as a player, I don't really know if you could roll the dice much more than that. Even his last year at Arizona, this is better than he was his last year at Arizona. His last year, he was 51 catches, 574 yards, and 4 touchdowns. If you get that with 600 yards, I think you're happy on a one-year deal for Hollywood Brown. You certainly expect more than this. You want more than this, but I don't know if you can really set the over-under that far off the number that we currently have for Hollywood Brown. Coming up on the other side, I want to play for you guys my conversation with CC Sabathia. He is going into the Pro Baseball Hall of Fame later this year on the first ballot. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Up to 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models for 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified pre-owned vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months, plus a $200 gas card with purchase. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
When you buy from any of the Balderson Auto Group dealerships, you're getting the support from all of our dealerships.
Like our 100 service bays, collision, and detail centers.
And our free exclusive lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you that.
From north, central, south, the Balderson Auto Group has you covered.
A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
Go to bagkc.com.
This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help this patient.
Hi, my name is John, and I've been on ED and testosterone treatment at Heartland Men's Health for the past 15 months. I could tell, I was starting to go downhill, and my wife kept telling me, well, you need to go to a clinic that'll specialize in that. And that's what eventually led me into the men's clinic here. Treatment, in my opinion, is a miracle. I was able to perform to an elevated position that, quite honestly, I never thought I'd see again. For my fellow men out there, if you're feeling that you're not up to par, I encourage you, contact Heartland Men's Health, and you will see a dramatic difference.
Thank you. It's true. Your initial appointment includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
If you're looking for that new career path, have you thought about IT? Think about IT. It's needed in every single industry, whether it's sports, healthcare, construction, manufacturing, you name it, and Centric can help you get there.
No better time in the city either. The KC Tech Council reported that there were 3,000 jobs added in IT in March alone. 3,000.
We've told you about our friend Russ Mondry and his expertise in this field. Over 16 years at Centric. He's going to help you find that career path. So go to Centric.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment. Not just to protect their tools, but to protect their professional reputations. Whether it's inside or outside of work vehicles, a WeatherGuard badge means pros can trust that their hard-earned name is in good hands. Since 1968 and every day since, WeatherGuard has been protecting anything it takes to build a professional reputation. WeatherGuard, established in 1968, proven every day. WeatherGuard.com.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips. So we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1-ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Paid for client portrayal and endorsement. Choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
After my car wreck, there was a lot I didn't know.
I do know. If you've been hurt in a car wreck, call me. I've got this.
Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This one brought to you by DM Injury Law. You've got a crash North Kansas City, 35 northbound at Armour Road, 210 Highway. The left lane is blocked. And down south, 69 southbound past 119th. The wreck is in the right lane. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, it's Cole Reagans from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with CDOT on 96.5 The Fan.
All right, welcome back into The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and the Odyssey app. So, some of you know this, some of you don't, but this week I've been filling in on Mad Dog Sports Radio. I've been on there from 8 to 11 in the morning. And yesterday I got a chance to catch up with CC Sabathia. It was pretty cool to catch up with CC Sabathia. Certainly a player that I watched growing up as a kid. He is actually going into the Pro Baseball Hall of Fame. He was inducted on the first ballot. He is going to go in as a New York Yankee. I want to play my conversation with you with the future Hall of Famer. Our conversation started with, what was it like to get that call?
Yeah, no, it was a surreal day, kind of leading up to that day. They have this Hall of Fame tracker. It's a website that you can check, and everybody kept telling me, don't check it, and I was checking it every 3 minutes. And by the time we got down to that Tuesday, I was checking it probably every 30 seconds and just trying to make sure that, I was over the threshold. But they tell you that they're going to call from 6 o'clock to 6:45, and it got to be about 6:35, and I'm like, if they don't call, we just had a good party and we can do it again next year. But we ended up getting a call, and I was just kind of in shock sitting there. And then my daughter grabs me, and then I kind of, snap out of it and get a chance to celebrate. But it was an incredible night, a lot of fun to have my family and my kids there. I feel like my kids have been such a huge part of my career, and to be able to have, them be a part of that that night was amazing.
I don't know if you've made the decision yet. Have you decided what cap you're going to wear going into the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, it's a Yankee hat.
I was just curious. I know, you also played in Cleveland. You're in their Hall of Fame. You had a great career with the Yankees. I was just curious what team you were going in as.
Yeah, because I played for the Yankees longer. I ended up playing there 11 years, and, I still live there. I'm in the area. When I signed there, me and my wife, we wanted a place where we could, raise our kids and put our roots down. And, New York was that spot. And, it was the best decision we ever made, signing there almost 17 years ago now.
Right now, we're talking to CC Sabathia about his Hall of Fame career. He is down in Atlanta for the All-Star festivities. I don't think people talk nearly enough about your time in the Brewers right there in the middle, kind of sandwiched in between your time between Cleveland and New York. How important was that stop in Milwaukee to your baseball career?
I think that stop was very important. I'm glad you said it like that, just because in 2007 I won the Cy Young, and we go into that postseason as probably the best team in the American League. We were very young. I was 27 years old. I was just kind of coming into my prime, and we go into the playoffs, and I pitched horribly. I still say if I pitched the way I should have in that postseason, we win the World Series hands down, and it probably changes my career, changes a lot of people's careers, changes Cleveland history and all of that stuff. But I just wasn't prepared, and having a chance to get traded, pitch those games down the stretch in Milwaukee, and kind of learn what it takes to pitch in big games, prepared me for the next year when I get signed free agent with the Yankees, and we go into that postseason as the best team, and I was able to anchor down and be the ace and carry us to the World Series.
It's also kind of hard to explain this for people that live outside the Midwest. So I'm born and raised in Kansas City, and just whenever the Royals made a run, it was just a very different energy about it because you never thought you would see this before. I imagine that energy, that excitement for that year that you helped Milwaukee get to the postseason. I imagine the energy was so electric because A, they're adding a player like you in the prime of their career, and they also think that, hey, we can win a World Series this year.
Yeah, it was incredible, the energy just in the city. Even just where I lived, it would be after games, it would be people dropping off cookies at our house, and just the city, the way they embraced was incredible. But the organization and the guys I got to play with, Ricky Weeks, Prince Fielder, Mike Cameron, Billy Hall, are some of my best friends, still to this day. I mean, I was just with Prince last night. I was with Mike Cameron 2 nights ago. So the friendships and the lifelong bonds that we built in just that 2.5 months that I was there was incredible, and just let you know how special that run was and, how close that team and that clubhouse was.
I have to ask you this question. So recently, Prince Fielder, his son, he just signed with the Brewers. He's 19 years old. Has there been a player for you that has kind of come around that made you feel old? Because, these are guys that are your friends, and now their kids are going on to be professional baseball player. I'm sure at some point, this moment has happened to you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even with my son, he's 21 years old, playing at the University of Houston, and, he's on the verge of starting his pro career. So, watching, your replacement as a man, it makes you feel old, but it makes you feel good, and it motivates you to be a better person. I think, but my coming to, Jesus realization moment that I was old was facing Daz Cameron. I used to shag with him when I was in Milwaukee. We were shagging the outfield, and he was 14, 15 years old. And then my last year playing 2019, I had to face him. He hits a double off me, and I looked at my wife. I was like, yeah, it's time for us to go home.
Right now, we're joined by CC Sabathia. CC, going through a little bit of your high school career, you were a great athlete at everything you tried. You were great at basketball, baseball, football. What was the thing that made you decide that you wanted to go down this path and become a pitcher?
Honestly, baseball kind of really chose me. You said it right. I mean, I played football, I played basketball, I played soccer as a kid, and I played, all three all the way through my senior year of high school. I get drafted in the first round, in June of '98, and my thinking was, I can, go, take this money for my family, and, if it doesn't work out, I can go back in 2 years and, play college football. Chris Winkie had just kind of did that, so it was an example for that. So I'm like, all right, I'll give this baseball thing a try, see what happens, and 2 years later, I was in the big leagues.
Who was sort of a mentor or sort of an inspiration for you? And I guess on the second half, I mean, I'm sure there is someone that has come up to you. Like, I don't have to tell you, there's not a lot of African Americans that play baseball. There's not a lot of black pitchers. So I'm sure that there is someone that's come up to you and said, hey, you were an inspiration to me. Who is that person for you? Has somebody told you that you were that person for them?
For me, it would be Dave Stewart. I got a chance to watch him. I met him as a kid and, grew up in the Bay Area. Those mid-'80s Oakland A's teams are really good. So, it was a blessing to be able to watch him and, be able to just see, guys that look like me. I think, at the time when I grew up, the percentage of black baseball players in the league were super high. And I think it may have been at its highest it's ever been. So on every team I looked around, you could see somebody that looked like you and you can imitate them. And, I always wanted to be that, for my community. And, I think, it's been Taj Bradley. It's been, so many different guys that have come to me and been like, hey, I love the way you wore your hat. I love the way that you wore your Jordans and all these different things. And that just makes me feel good because that's all I wanted to be, after, having a chance to meet Dave Stewart at 9 years old.
I'm assuming that you have some you got some crazy kicks in the closet. Like, you were one of the ones that always got the player editions. I'm assuming that you have some shoes in the closet that you even forgot you had.
Yeah, I do. My wife gets upset. My shoe closet is pretty crazy. Shoes all over the place up in the attic. But yeah, there's some pairs that probably get lost for sure.
I'm looking through your Pro Baseball Reference page. You actually hit 3 home runs in your carear. Tell us one of the stories
homers
from when you hit a home run.
So my last home run I hit was at Dodger Stadium, and I was always so the second home run I hit 2 homers in 1 year in 2008. But the one at Dodger Stadium was kind of funny because I would always give the guys on the team in Cleveland, I would always, talk crap and be like, hey, let me get a DH, let me hit for myself. I don't need a DH today. And that day we were facing Chan Ho Park, and I get the third out of the second inning, so I'm coming up to hit the top of the third, and Casey Blake was our third baseman, so he hid my helmet, my bat, and my batting glove. So I'm running all around the dugout, up and down in the clubhouse looking for my stuff in between innings, and he kind of just set it out on deck circle. So I was pretty pissed off. Like, I was upset. I didn't get any chance to swing on deck, and so I just ran. I walked up to the plate. I was looking in the dugout. I was mad at Casey. Took the first 2 pitches, and then Chan throws one right down the middle. I swung as hard as I could. So it was pretty cool to be able to hit a home run first in Dodger Stadium, and then, to be able to tell that story.
I just hope that you have the ball because, you accomplished a lot of great things in your career. You won a Cy Young. You were ALCS MVP. You won a World Series. You were in a team's Hall of Fame. You're going in the Pro Baseball Hall of Fame. As a kid from California to hit a home run at Dodger Stadium and you're a pitcher, that would be my number 1 prized possession.
Yeah, you know what? I don't have the ball, but I got the bat. And all 3 of my homers I hit with Adam Dunn bats. So 3 different Adam Dunn bats. Every time we would play them in interleague, I would make him give me a bat. And then I just always figured that his bats got a lot of homers in them. So I always use his bats.
That is CC Sabathia joining us on the show today. He is going in the Pro Baseball Hall of Fame as a first ballot inductee. CC, you had an incredible career. It was always fun to watch you. It was an honor to have you join us today, man. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you, bro.
I got a chance to catch up with CC Sabathia earlier this week. I just wanted to play it for you. Rob, I always liked CC Sabathia, man. I always liked him. Were you a CC Sabathia fan back in the day?
I wouldn't say I disliked him, but I don't know I ever liked him. I liked him when he went to Milwaukee, but it's really hard for me to, even as a kid, cheer for a Yankee. There was something dirty about cheering for a Yankee.
Here you go. Just always hating, man. Don't be a hater
you were
your
out here
whole
cheering
life.
for the Yankees as a kid? You're sick.
I mean, you either had to cheer for the Yankees or the Red Sox. You didn't really have a choice. It's not like there was a lot of Royals baseball to cheer for during this time. There was a lot of Royals baseball to be excited about in 2008.
There's the Evil Empire. That's what their name was. They called themselves the Evil Empire. You're cheering for that team? No, I'm not. I like them
Rob,
in Cleveland.
you cheer for the Evil Empire. What are you talking about? You can't cheer for the Evil Empire, yet you're a Kansas graduate? That's what I think you are. That's what you are. You're the Evil Empire. How's it any different cheering for the Yankees or cheering for the Kansas Jayhawks?
Because in this analogy, I cheer for the little guy. I'm the Ruse fan in baseball.
Here you go.
Go Ruse. Give it all they got.
Here you go. I can't cheer for the Evil Empire. I want you to denounce Bill Self right now on this show.
A-Rod was making $700 million. The Royals sold for $1 billion. It was easy to hate that team.
Yeah, so was Billy Preston. That's what he was making.
He never played at Kansas.
So was
he will
Billy
play
Preston.
on the TBT team tomorrow night, but he never played at Kansas.
So was Andrew Wiggins. You didn't have any problem cheering for him. You didn't have any problem with that. But now you can hate on the Yanks. You can hate on Jeter.
That was a three-stripe life making purchases, not Kansas.
No, that's true.
Just ask the FBI. They know. They'll tell you how Kansas is a victim caught up in a whirlwind problem.
For sure. Kansas didn't know anything about it. You're right. They were the victims. Kansas basketball, they were the victims in all of this. They were just out there minding their business, trying to do things the right way. And Adidas, through no aid of Kansas at all, they just were out there willy-nilly paying players to go to Kansas. Kansas was like, no, we don't want it. They were like, no, we're going to do it anyway. We're going to drop this bag off at the Orient Hotel. You're going to play at Kansas, buddy. No, I'm sure that's what happened.
I'm just saying, according to court documents, which I can pull up right now if you'd like, the official...
Wow. You're pulling up court documents? That's crazy.
The official verdict lists the University of Kansas as a person that was part of a scheme. They got duped by Adidas. They really are a victim of a larger conspiracy.
I don't ever want
Frankly,
you
you should feel bad for them.
You know what I don't ever want you to do on this show again? I never want to hear you say, I want to pull up the court documents. That shouldn't be a part of this show's vernacular.
The FBI, a wing of the government we all respect, said that Kansas was a victim of circumstance.
No, that's true. Let's move on and let's get back on the same page. We're not going to argue about running back. I can see it. No, we're not going to argue about running back, but you know what time it is. It's list season. There is a top 10 list right now of the top 10 wide receivers in the National Football League. This list is from ESPN, executives, coaches, scouts. They rank the top 10 wide receivers for this year in the National Football League. Let's go through it. Number 1, Jamar Chase. Number 2, Justin Jefferson. Number 3, Tyreek Hill. Let's stop.
Okay, all right.
Are we still counting Tyreek Hill as the third best wide receiver in the league?
No.
I mean, dog, don't get me wrong. I would put Justin Jefferson in 1, and I would put Jamar Chase at 2. If you got it the other way, I'm not going to get too mad about it. We still got Tyreek Hill, top 3 wide receiver in the league?
Absolutely not. The calendar says 2025, correct?
It does. I mean, he was not good last year, no question.
Not top 3. Again,
last year he was 2. You're telling me last year he was 2. He just goes down 1 spot after the season that he just had? Now, he should for sure be in the top 10. Number 3 feels a little too high to me for right now for Tyreek Hill, who's 31 years old and coming off the worst season of his career. Third feels a little too high for me for Tyreek Hill. Number 4, CeeDee Lamb. That's actually who I would have as third on my list. A.J. Brown is number 5. Do you feel like these are the top 5 receivers in the National Football League, or are you taking Tyreek Hill out? Because I think that CeeDee Lamb and A.J. Brown, those guys are certainly top 5 guys. And now we're debating if you still think Tyreek Hill's top 5.
I don't think Tyreek Hill's still a top 5 guy. I'm curious who they have at 6 and 7 because I'm curious if it just everyone just slides up a few spots or if it's going to get hinky from 6 to 10 because Tyreek Hill is in no way a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL today. If we said, hey, during his era, totality, he was top 5, over his career, sure. But he is not a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL right now. I have no problem with A.J. Brown. I have no problem with C.D. Lamb. I actually think C.D. Lamb's a little bit underrated, like just by most people because he's very, very good. But no, not top 5. Stop it.
Who would you have then top 5 then? Because I don't mind Hill being in the top 5. Now, you're right. We can go outside the top 5. Amon-Ra St. Brown is at number 6.
I think that's high for him too, by the way, just a heads up.
Malik Neighbors is 7.
Very high
Nico
again.
Collins is 8. Mike Evans is 9. Garrett Wilson is 10. So that's who they have. Cumulative, that's who they have as the top 10 receivers in the league. I'll go through it again. Garrett Wilson at 10. Mike Evans at 9. Nico Collins at 8. 7, Malik Neighbors. 6, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm surprised to hear you say that that's too high for Amon-Ra. I think that's actually perfect for Amon-Ra. I think you could argue he's top 5 and move Tyreek Hill out of your top 5. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown has been very, very good these last 3 years.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, he's really, really good. But there's just something about Amon-Ra's game that doesn't feel top 5 elite to me. And maybe it's a feel and I'm way off base here, but when you see him play, he doesn't have this. It doesn't feel like it's the same level of dominance like an A.J. Brown or a Jamar Chase has. So to have him in that vein feels like you're a little bit too high on him.
You know what I think this is? I think this is quarterback. I think there's 4 obvious answers at quarterback. And then I think once you get to 5, we start the argument. Whether you're putting Jaden Daniels or Matthew Stafford or Jared Goff or whatever. Like, no one's arguing that Jared Goff is Joe Burrow or Josh Allen. It feels like there's a little bit of a gap. I think there is a gap once you get past these guys. But if you're telling me that outside of, I would say, that big 4, if you don't want to put Tyreek Hill in that conversation, if you're telling me it's Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb, and A.J. Brown. So these are the top wide receivers under the age of 30. If you're telling me that next you think it's Amon-Ra St. Brown, I'm not going to fight you super hard on Amon-Ra, what he's been able to accomplish these last couple of years. Here's who they have at top 5. They have top 5 is A.J. Brown, CeeDee Lamb at 4, Tyreek at 3, Justin Jefferson at 2, and Jamar Chase at number 1. That's who they have as the top 10 receivers in the league. Right outside of their top 10, so the honorable mention. You have Terry McLaurin, Puka Nacua, Brian Thomas Jr., DK Metcalf, and T. Higgins, also Devontae Adams. So that's who you have. And then when you get to also receiving votes, somebody voted for Cortland Sutton. You love a Cortland Sutton. Love a Cortland Sutton.
Good job with that one voter. Maybe I just didn't hear it.
Somebody voted a Cortland Sutton as a top 10 receiver in the league. Was that you?
No.
Okay, I'm just asking because anybody's arguing Cortland Sutton's a top 10 guy?
I feel like Scary Terry got a little bit hurt here. Like I feel like he should have been probably higher. I know me and you just disagree about Terry McLaurin. I'm not saying he's a top 10 receiver, but he should have been in the receiving votes, and maybe I didn't hear him, and I apologize if I misheard. Ladd McConkey's not one of the top 15 wide receivers in the NFL?
Ladd McConkey did get others receiving votes. He did get other receiving votes. So to give you an idea of the others, Devontae Smith, Ladd McConkey, Jackson Smith and Jibba, Jamison Williams, DJ Moore, Chris Godwin. I don't want to go through everybody. But I would say, though, this is why I think wide receiver is so interesting. I think it's the deepest position in the NFL. You could convince me that you think Ladd McConkey is the 10th best receiver in the NFL or the 25th best receiver in the NFL. Like, that's how deep and loaded the position is. Think about Rice. He's not in the top. He's not in the others receiving votes category, and I understand it. He's only played 1 year, didn't have 1,000 yards in that one season, also missed basically the entire year with an injury. He's certainly in the conversation with these other guys. He's in the conversation with the Cortland Sutton. He's in the conversation with Jamison Williams, but that position is so deep that when you miss 1 year to injury, you kind of out of sight, out of mind. That's why I think wide receiver at this point, like, this is sort of a golden era, I think, for the position. It's like the perfect combination of everything. Kids don't want to play running back anymore because that's not where the money is. So there's just more kids that want to play pass catcher, want to play wide receiver now. That's the position that's getting paid. These kids have come up in 7-on-7 drills. It's more of a pass-happy, pass-friendly league. So you just got a lot of wide receivers. That also got me thinking, I wonder if the bubble eventually bursts. Like right now, Terry McLaurin, for example, very unhappy about his contract. even though he just got paid 3 years, $70 million. So it's not like Washington hasn't paid him. He now wants a re-up and wants a new contract. And I can't really say that he's wrong. Terry McLaurin is probably worth $25 or $30 million a year. But are you going to give Terry McLaurin $30 million a year? Like, I do wonder how many of these teams eventually just end up saying no to a wide receiver in their second contract. They trade him for maybe 2 first-round picks, and then you try again in the draft. Because most of these guys ended up getting a second deal from their team. You haven't seen a team say no to a Jalen Waddle or a DK Metcalf. Sure, they eventually traded him, but that was after you already paid him and gave him that big signing bonus. I do wonder if at some point we'll see that bubble kind of burst when it comes to the position.
I wonder if that bubble bursts, if we're about to see that next wave of guys. Now, Garrett Wilson just got paid. So obviously he's not going to be that guy. But Jackson Smith and Jigba is going to be in that wave. Jamison Williams is going to be in that wave. A lot of Drake London. I'm not saying he's a top 15 receiver in the NFL, but Drake London is going to be a guy who gets caught up in that wave. Basically, all the guys that me and you argued about for 2 years to draft or who the Chiefs should take in the first round, all those guys are going to start being, hey, our team's going to give this guy a big second contract, or are they going to walk? That whole group, that whole core will be fascinating to watch. I agree with you on Scary Terry, by the way. Why does he want a third raise? What are we doing here? But that's neither here nor there. I wonder if that Drake London class is going to be finding themselves unemployed more likely than not.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's I get what you're saying, though. I just think what you'll end up seeing is eventually a team is just going to end up saying no and then just taking the draft picks and then trying again at the position. Like the same way that we used to look at running back as kind of plug and play, and you could go in the first round, get a really productive running back, and kind of go from there. I wonder if that's how teams are going to see wide receiver. That's not one of those positions that if you are that guy, you need 3 or 4 years to figure it out. If you're Ladd McConkey from the word go. You're a 1,000-yard receiver. You're a 1,200-yard receiver, and you're not making really any money. I just wonder if you'll see some teams that they have a different positional value chart. Right now, the league is telling you that they think wide receiver is the second most important position on the field. That's what if we're going based off who gets the money, they think quarterback is number 1 and wide receiver is number 2. They think left tackle's obviously very high. Pass rush is kind of high. It is obvious where the money is flowing. Maybe there's a team that sees wide receiver as 6th or 7th and sees it kind of interchangeable. Those are going to be the teams that ultimately end up saying no as the wide receiver numbers just get bigger and bigger in contracts. And you're right. More and more of these guys ultimately end up asking to get paid like Terry McLaurin is right now. Coming up at the top of the hour, we'll get back to the top stories. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hi, Zoe Saldana. Welcome to T-Mobile. Here's your new iPhone 16 Pro on us.
Thanks. And here's my old phone to trade in.
You don't need a trade-in. When you switch to T-Mobile, we'll give you a new iPhone 16 Pro. Plus, we'll help you pay off your old phone up to $800, and you still get to keep it.
There's always a trade-in.
Not right now at T-Mobile.
I feel like I have to give you something in return for karma.
That's okay.
I don't really have much in my purse. Oh, let's see. Hand sanitizer. It's lavender.
I'm good. Seriously.
Let me check this pocket. Oh, mints?
Really, I'm fine.
Oh, I have raisins. I'm a mom. Wait 1 sec. I've got cupcakes in the car.
It's our best iPhone offer ever. Switch to T-Mobile. Get a new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence on us. No trade-in needed. We'll even pay off your phone up to $800.
With 24 monthly bill credits, new line $100 plus a month on experience beyond finance agreement $999.99 and qualifying ported. For well qualified plus tax and $10 connection charge. Pay off via virtual prepaid card. Allow 15 days. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. See T-Mobile.com.
You want to see the ring? Here, I have a picture.
Wow, look at you.
I know, right? Went to Hellsberg and customized the whole thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, well, I showed them all her inspiration photos, picked the setting, the diamond. It's actually pretty fun. Now for the real hard part, asking her.
Well, congrats, buddy. The ring looks awesome.
Start your story with Hellsberg. Designed with care and craft since 1915. Shop in store or at Hellsberg.com.
Headed out for a summer getaway? Make your airport parking a breeze with Casey's favorite, Park and Go. All spots are covered so your car stays cool and protected while you're soaking up the sun. Hop on a quick air-conditioned shuttle that picks you up right at your car and drops you off at the terminal. Always the best service, always the best price. Reserve now at bookparkandgo.com. Open 24/7. Fast, easy, and stress-free. Park and Go, family owned and operated, and proud to be part of your summer travel plans.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure where to start? Selling a home can feel overwhelming, especially if you're facing foreclosure, a divorce, an inherited property you don't want, or just need to move quickly. But you don't have to figure it out alone. Rex Buys KC is here to help. As a local home buyer, I understand the Kansas City market inside and out. My family and I live right here, so I know the neighborhoods, the trends, and the challenges homeowners face. That's why I take a consultative approach, helping you explore your options and find the best path forward. We buy houses in any condition, no need for repairs, no agent commissions, and no hidden fees. You'll receive a fair cash offer with a closing timeline that works for you. Whether that's in as little as 7 days or at your own pace, just a simple, hassle-free process designed around your needs. If you're ready to talk through your options, call me today at 816-330-6000 or visit rexbuyskc.com. Let's find the right solution for you. Rex Buys KC. Local, fair, and focused on you.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment, not just to protect their tools, but to protect their professional reputations. Whether it's inside or outside of work vehicles, a WeatherGuard badge means pros can trust that their hard-earned name is in good hands. Since 1968 and every day since, WeatherGuard has been protecting anything it takes to build a professional reputation. WeatherGuard, established in 1968, proven every day. WeatherGuard.com.
All right, Takis fans. Wendy's knows you love your Takis Fuego chips, so we thought, why not make a Takis Fuego meal with a Takis Fuego chicken sandwich with spicy chicken topped with crushed Takis Fuego chips and creamy corn spread. Plus, it comes with Fuego fries inspired by Takis and a bag of Takis Fuego chips. If we had any more heat, we might start an actual... I told him this would happen. For an intense new take on Takis chips, gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Includes 1-ounce Takis Fuego chips while supplies last. Takis and Fuego trademarks are used under license.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Got a new problem if you're headed into downtown 35 northbound just past Cambridge Circle. The left lane is blocked. Olathe, this wreck is 35 southbound just past 119th in the right lane. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center and Val, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Rob, you're going to laugh at me for this take, opinion, observation, whatever you would call it. So my mom and I, we usually try to do like maybe once, twice a month, try to do like a Sunday activity. We'll go to brunch, we'll go to a winery, just trying to spend some time together, right? So one day she was in the mood for barbecue. So we ended up going to get a little bit of barbecue. And then she was like, I'm not ready to go home yet. Let's do something else. So we were over in Lee Summit, not super far from where she lives. And, there's a Cooper's Hawk over there. I had never been to Cooper's Hawk. She had never been to Cooper's Hawk. And I was like, I've heard a lot of people talk very highly about this place. I've heard a lot of people say, oh, this place is cool. We should go over there. I get it. Have you ever been to a place that you've heard people talk about, and then when you left there, you were like, I understand it now? Because I've heard people talk about Cooper's Hawk and be like, oh, man, it's my favorite place, and I went over there, did a little wine tasting. It was great. Everybody was super friendly. It was a fair price. I was like, man, you know what? I felt like I've been cheating myself this entire time. Has everybody known this about Cooper's Hawk? Has everybody had this information that Cooper's Hawk is such a fun place to go? You knew this, Rob, and you didn't share this with me?
First off, I do talk about Cooper's Hawk with you.
I never heard you say this before.
Last year, I took my wife for her birthday to Cooper's Hawk. I
wasn't invited. I don't remember this.
I'm like, what place is cool in the plaza? It's Cooper's Hawk. Sometimes I talk back in the office, and I'm like, hey, you just tune me out because all I talk about is recruiting.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's sometimes I get a little bit soapboxy about KU football recruiting, but that doesn't mean when I talk about Cooper's Hawk, you should tune out because it's a great vibes. The wine is good. The food is very good. I can't speak for the one at Lee Summit, but the one on the Plaza has good vibes. Like, it's fun. It's a cool atmosphere in there. Like, I'm happy you've joined the revolution of enjoying Cooper's Hawk.
I plan on going back. Someone on the text line says the one that you went to is the worst one. I would love to see what the best one is, because if that's the worst one, that's great. It was very nice. Wasn't a whole lot of people there. They were very knowledgeable. You know what I hate about a wine tasting, and I get it. I know why they got to do it. They start telling me way too much information. Bro, I'm not here to learn about this. I don't know what's happening. I'm not here to learn about these wines. I'm just here to drink. That's it. I'm not here to, we grow this, bro. I don't care. I don't care what kind of soil it was grown in. I don't care none of that. I don't care about how many blueberries that you put in this bottle to make this one thing of wine. Bro, just pour. That's all I really care about. Maybe I'm the wrong person to do these kind of activities with, because I'm not there for the education part of this experience. I'm here for the alcohol part of this experience. That's the only reason why I'm here.
Let me ask you a question about, because I have a hunch we're about to be the same. Get back on the same page here. When you do a wine tasting and they hand you like the little 6 ounce, how do you consume it? Because I don't sip that thing.
Taking like a shooter.
Exactly.
Like a shooter. What are you talking about?
I slammed that thing back.
Yeah. You got some more?
I went to a winery. It was, I forget the reason why. I was at a winery with my wife and some of my wife's friends, and they were looking at me like I had 7 heads. I was like, what are we doing here, guys? We got 7 shots of wine to get down. We're not taking it like 7 tastes.
For sure.
Putting it, they're like sniffing it and sipping it. Like, what are you guys doing?
No,
it's a
for
shooter.
Sure. No, 100%. No, I'm serious. That's real. I'm serious. Someone said, just pour the wine in the glass, bro. Yeah, they be really trying to tell you a story. You're like, bro, I don't care about this. Like, I don't know if there's a nice way to say that to the people, but I don't care about anything that you're talking about. I did have this one wine. It was rhubarb. I had to Google what a rhubarb was. I didn't know. A rhubarb is one of those things, like, I hear about it, but you don't know anybody that grows rhubarb. You know somebody that grows apples. You know somebody that grows oranges or cherries, or you don't know anybody that's got a rhubarb tree in their backyard. So I had to Google what it was. I was very, very confused on what it was. I also wasn't that big of a fan of it, so it didn't really matter. Someone said, did you get food at Cooper's Hawk? They have a Cheesecake Factory-sized menu. That tells me I don't need to be eating there.
I will say the menu's big, but the food is actually good. I enjoyed my meal at Cooper's Hawk. It's not the best meal I've ever had in Kansas City, but you're not going to walk away unhappy.
Can you have a good restaurant if you have that many different offerings? Like, you know what that's saying? Like, master of none. I don't know the exact quote. You know the one I'm talking about. Can you be a really good restaurant if you offer 72 things on the menu? See, I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can be that. So when I go to Cheesecake Factory, I'm thinking, hold on here. You got a little bit of, we got all countries and nationalities and cultures. Why don't we just focus in on, why don't we try to make 12 of these great? Why don't we try to make 15 of these things phenomenal? You tell them you got pages? It's like a brochure? I got to flip through it.
It's not like
you got pictures and it's too much.
It's not
too
like
much.
10 pages of Cooper's Hawk. It's like 2 flips. You got 2 flips.
The only place that's good that has pictures in their menu is Red Lobster. It's the only place.
I mean, wow.
I'm serious. It's the only place.
The Chili's disrespect from you right there is crazy.
There's no other place that has pictures in their menu that you would consider to be a good restaurant.
All the places you take kids have pictures. All of them.
You normally ain't taking kids to good restaurants. That's a good point. That's it. Yeah, so the only place that has good food that has the little pictures in there is Red Lobster. But that's different because Red Lobster is the best restaurant in America. That's why it's very different. But yeah, your other places, think about it. You've never sat down at a really good place and have pictures in there. Never. Not once.
Does Bamboo Penny have pictures? Because Bamboo Penny's is fire.
I don't think Bamboo Penny has pictures in their menu.
I thought Bamboo Penny had pictures.
No, I don't think it does. Bamboo Penny, very good restaurant,
Incredible
by the way.
restaurant.
Yeah, no, Bamboo Penny's great.
I'm not here talking bad about Bamboo Penny.
Bamboo Penny's great.
Bamboo Penny, if you need an endorser, I am right here. Come and get me. Incredible food. I think it has pictures.
I'll argue for Bamboo Penny all day. If we are removing barbecue restaurants just because we're the barbecue capital of the world and you're making a top 10 restaurants in the city, Bamboo Penny is in the top 10 for sure. No question.
No doubt. Is it the best, like, I know it's not technically Chinese food. Is it the best, like, Asian-inspired?
Lulu's is pretty good. I don't know if you have Lulu's. Lulu's is real good, too.
Lulu's is very good. Yeah, and that's That's that part of the town I love. You know how I love a good Crossroads.
100%. Two places you really love. You really love Town Center and Crossroads. You're a big fan of both of those. I've actually met Penny before. Very nice woman. Penny came out, said hello to me, read me through the menu. It was great. She was phenomenal. Shout out to Penny.
What's your level of spice when you go there?
3. 3. I'm serious. How hot do you want it? 2 or 3. 2 or 3.
Less the better, please.
Yeah, for sure. What are you doing here? 7, 8? No. I want to enjoy the food. No, not at all. Someone said a huge menu normally equals bad food. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. You can't be a great restaurant if you have 19. You can't. You got 19 pages. If your menu has a table of contents, you're doing too much. I'm serious. You're doing way too much. You can't be a good restaurant if that's the case. So Cooper's Hawk, a phenomenal place. I don't know if I'll be eating there now based off that information. They got a table of contents. They got a reference page in the back.
Someone points this out. They have a great happy hour. I could see a happy hour at a Cooper's Hawk being an incredible time.
I ain't been there during happy hour. What they offering?
When's the next time the Royals are on the East Coast? We gotta get out to a Cooper's Hawk.
Yeah, I didn't know. I need to go. I'm serious. I gotta go. I didn't know that Cooper's Hawk had this. You guys might be laughing at me on the text line. I didn't know anything about Cooper's Hawk until this past Sunday. I had no clue. I'd never been before. I'd heard about it, and I went there on a whim. I liked it. My mom liked it. She was about to sign up for the membership. I was like, man, this place is kind of good. This place is cool. No, I appreciate it. I was a big fan, very, very big fan of Cooper's Hawk. All right, coming up at the top of the hour, we get back to very serious sports things. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Hey, it's Lucas Ursig from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with CDOT on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Got a new problem if you're headed into downtown 35 northbound just past Cambridge Circle. The left lane is blocked. Olathe, this wreck is 35 southbound just past 119th in the right lane. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center in Val, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
It's time for the pro to get everything for the job delivered. Large orders of lumber, doors, windows, paint, plumbing, anything the job needs, all from one partner. Get it today with same-day delivery. Get it tomorrow with next-day delivery on 50,000 plus products. Or get it on your timeline with scheduled delivery on everything from framing to flooring. It's time to get your whole job, all your jobs delivered. Ask about all our new delivery options at the Pro Desk. The Home Depot Pro, it's about time.
Hey friends, it's noisy out there with information coming at us all day, every day. It's hard to know what to trust, and the world of wealth management is no exception. That's why UMB Private Wealth Management helps you tune out the noise and tune into what matters most. They'll create a financial plan based on your unique goals, so it's your voice that comes through loud and clear. Get financial clarity. Go to umb.com/private wealth to schedule an appointment. That's umb.com/private wealth.
And Doug. Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu? Is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Don't let clogged drains slow you down. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews ensures your peace of mind. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
The countdown is on. Save the date because Diamonds Direct's Designer Summer Sale kicks off this Monday, July 21st with 20% off the entire store. Engagement rings, diamond studs, fashion jewelry, and more. Want early access? Book your appointment now because the best pieces go fast. Don't miss the jewelry event of the season next week only at Diamonds Direct, and designer appearances July 25th through 27th. Top designers from New York and LA with their exclusive collections. Visit diamondsdirect.com to book your appointment and start saving.
If you love finding the deal and a bargain brings you bliss, the Hy-Vee 5-day sidewalk sale is cause for celebration. This Wednesday through Sunday, stock up and save big on dozens of pantry staples, like Roma pizzas, 4 for $10, Pepsi 24 packs, $9.99, Frito-Lay's chips, just $1.99, Gatorade 8-pack bottles, just $5.99, and Sunbelt granola bars, 4 for $10. Hurry to the huge 5-day sidewalk sale this week, only at Hy-Vee.
I love Hy-Vee, and I love the fact that they're always finding new ways to save me money, like lower prices in every department. And on top of that, I save so much money at the pump with Hy-Vee's awesome fuel saver deals. Monday, July 21st, earn a 40-cent discount per gallon with every $60 in groceries you purchase. So you can stock up for the summertime fun and stack up all of those fuel savings. Seeing that number roll back at the pump is so much fun, and saving money's even better. And you can do it with gas and groceries only at Hy-Vee.
I'm McCall with Lee Summit Subaru, and it's time to make a big deal out of nothing. Announcing Lee Summit Subaru's 0% event. Up to 0% financing on select 2025 Subaru models for 72 months. And we have the largest selection of Subaru certified pre-owned vehicles in Kansas City, starting as low as 1.9% for 72 months, plus a $200 gas card with purchase. Fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru.
Based on January 2025 through June 2025 Kansas City inventory listings.
Imagine buying your next car from one dealership.
With the support of many.
With everything you'll ever need.
When you buy from any of the Balderson Auto Group dealerships, you're getting the support from all of our dealerships.
Like our 100 service bays, collision, and detail centers.
And our free exclusive lifetime warranty. No other auto group gives you that.
From north, central, south, the Balderson Auto Group has you covered.
A family committed to
excellence, growth,
and harmony.
Go to bagkc.com.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can watch every show, plus video clips and shorts, all right from your phone, desktop, or tablet. The Fan's YouTube channel at 965 The Fan, KFMC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. It is The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited, thrilled, delighted to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. Check out the podcast page. BK was on the show earlier today. Our guy Brandon Kiley out in STL. Laird Veach was on the show. We'll play a little bit of what he had to say coming up at 5:30. He is the Missouri Athletic Director, and we also got a chance to catch up with CC Sabathia. If you missed it, CC Sabathia, he is going into the Pro Baseball Hall of Fame. Congratulations to him. He's going in as a member of the New York Yankees. So salute to him. All right, Rob, I would say that there are two things to talk about. One is serious and one is not so serious. Let's start with the very serious topic. Let's talk about George Karlaftis. Now, I cannot confirm this. I am simply getting this from a reliable source on Twitter. So if you don't believe it, that's perfectly fine. I'm not entirely sure if I believe it, but this is coming from somebody who has been pretty reliable. I don't know who this person is, but I do think that he has enough of a track record of getting things right that it is at least something that you can discuss now if he puts out this information. So he puts out this information that the Chiefs are closing in on a new deal on George Karlaftis and expect it to be done during camp. But there is serious momentum towards getting an extension done. This is the thing. I don't really know why George Karlaftis would want to get this deal done. I definitely get why the Chiefs would want to get this deal done, George Karlaftis hasn't made a Pro Bowl. He's not an all-pro caliber player. He only has one season in which he has had double-digit sacks. So if you were talking about getting a player before you think the value could potentially jump, now's the time to buy him. I think that makes this contract negotiation pretty difficult. We went through it a little bit earlier. There is a little bit of a middle tier when it comes to pass rushers. But for example, Nick Bosa is the number one highest paid defensive end in the National Football League if you were going by total value of the contract. 13th is Abdul Carter, who hasn't played in the NFL yet, that obviously was a high pick in the NFL draft and has a $45 million fully guaranteed deal. So there's just not much of that middle market. You either are a great pass rusher that a team pays you, or you're a veteran on a 1 or 2 year deal. You're a Mike Dana type, for example. Mike Dana is the 25th highest paid defensive end in the National Football League with a 3-year, $24 million deal. Either the Chiefs are about to overpay for a player based on what he has done so far, or George Karlaftis is about to sell himself short, which I don't really understand. You've been a very healthy player. You've been a productive player. Why wouldn't you gamble that you could be Max Crosby? Because if you look at Max Crosby's career, it's kind of like George Karlaftis's. Now, I'm not telling you that I think that's what he's going to do, but I'm simply pointing out, if you were going by the sack numbers, this is what Max Crosby did his first couple of years in the National Football League. He had 10 sacks, 7 sacks, and 8 sacks. George Karlaftis had 6 sacks, 10.5 sacks, and 8 sacks. So he's not that far off of where Max Crosby was. Max Crosby then got 12.5 in his 4th season. He got 14.5 in his 5th season. And now people look at him like he's one of the best pass rushers in the league, which he is, and he's the 3rd highest paid defensive end in the National Football League. So if you're George Karlaftis and you are trending to be Max Crosby, you're 1 season away. You're 1 good season away from being Max Crosby. You're 1 really good season away from $90-something million. So either the Chiefs are going to give it to you now and expect you to take the jump to be Max Crosby, even though you haven't been, at least in terms of kind of the totality of his career, or you're going to take Chase Young's contract at $51 million, which is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. It's 3 years, $51 million and 27 guaranteed. But if George Karlaftis has 11 or 11.5 sacks this year, he could get $90 million. That's worth the dice roll to me. It's worth it to me. It's worth the dice roll. I don't get why you would take Mike Dana's contract. Mike Dana got $13 million guaranteed in his deal. The Chiefs are guaranteeing George Karlaftis $13 million just for next season on his rookie contract. He's not Mike Dana. Dana's never been a consistent starter in the league, never had a double-digit sack season. Karlaftis is 24 and been healthy. So again, I understand why the Chiefs want to get this deal done. Buy low, so to speak. I don't know why George Karlaftis wouldn't want to roll the dice on himself and see if he can make himself an extra $30 or $40 million by simply having a great year this upcoming season.
Here's the one thing, and I get what you're saying. From a player perspective, I understand why this makes no sense for Karlaftis. Let's flip the point of view, though. For the team, this is what I was talking about yesterday with Trey Smith and with Nick Bolton. It is better to be ahead of these things than behind these things. And we looked it up earlier. Greg Rousseau, that's the name I'll use. He's a pass rusher for the Bills. No one would call Gregory Rousseau an elite pass rusher. He is solid. He had less sacks last season than Karlaftis. The year before that, he had more than Karlaftis, but they're kind of 6 in one hand, half dozen the other. I'm not looking to have an argument about Greg Rousseau versus George Karlaftis. He had signed an extension. He had signed a 4-year, $80 million extension. Now, it's the NFL, so it's funny money. It's really just 4 for $40 guaranteed, and that is what he signed. If George Karlaftis today is signing a 4 for $80, but in reality it's only 40 or 45 or 50 guaranteed, if you're the team, you're celebrating that because you then have a player under club control for the next 5 seasons, and you're hoping that if he takes that next step, the one you talked about why the player would wait, if he takes that next step, now he's exceeding the value of his contract. And it's not some deep, cut industry secret that the way you win Super Bowls is you have players outperforming their deal. So if you're the Chiefs, I get why you get ahead of it. You maybe give him a little bit of money where it looks like, wow, that's a big deal. But in reality, if he takes that step forward from an 8.5 sack guy to a 10.5, 11 sack guy, suddenly you're getting great value. So from the team's perspective, I think everything you're saying is why the team would want to do it.
And I guess for me, maybe this is the point that I'm making is, to me, it's just worth it to gamble on myself than to take a Chase Young contract where, yes, I sign. Nothing wrong with making $17 million a year and getting $27 million guaranteed. You can then become underpaid very, very quickly. This is essentially the argument that Terry McLaurin is having, right? This is essentially the argument that Jawan Jennings is having. Hey, when I signed this deal, that is what the market said I was worth. Then I went out and I performed it, and now I am worth double what you guys are currently paying me. So if I know that on the front end and I've only played for 3 years, we're not talking about George Karlaftis is 27, 28. He's 24 years old, and he's been healthy and really productive, where I would say he's maybe in the best defensive situation that he's been in. This is your 4th year in a system, a Minna who's healthy from day one. You got Chris Jones on the other side. I'm rolling the dice to see if I can go out there and ball out this season. Someone asked the question, CDOT, why can't it be somewhere in the middle, 3 for 75? This is where if I'm the Chiefs, I'm not ready to pay this contract. If the Chiefs gave him 3 for 75 right now on a per year average basis, that would make him the 6th highest paid defensive end in the National Football League. I'm just not interested in paying George Karlaftis that right now based on the information that we have. I'm not interested in paying him the 6th highest pass rush guy. We think he might be the 3rd best on the Chiefs. And I'm paying him like he's that guy. I'm not interested in doing that at this stage in his career. I always feel like in these, I'm arguing like against the player. You know, I'm all for guys getting paid. I'm not interested in paying a good D lineman a great contract before you prove that you're great. Hey, go out there this upcoming season. We've already picked up your 5th-year option. You know we like you. We're going to give you the snaps. You're going to be on the field. You got a chance to go earn your money. You go out and you put up a 12-sack, 13-sack season. The Chiefs have shown they'll pay you. They've shown that. If you've been a great player that they've drafted, they've paid you. They paid Creed Humphrey. They paid Nick Bolton. They have paid these guys what the market says that they're worth. They've never had a pass rusher like this, I guess, other than Chris Jones, but that was different. That was his 3rd contract. A different organization had drafted him. They've never been in this situation before where they had a 12, 13 sack guy that was now coming up on a contract. Teams don't let that player walk away, not for their 2nd deal. Maybe you do for their 3rd when they start to get injured, but teams are not letting 24, 25-year-old pass rushers just openly hit free agency. So you'll get the money if you just simply wait a year to go get paid.
Now, let me ask you this, and this is maybe why the Chiefs are pushing for this, and maybe this is part of the equation that we have to consider for this. Take care of their guys that they draft from the back end because there is a more expensive entity that is going to be due up. Whether it's this offseason or next offseason, you and I both know Trent McDuffie is going to make more money than George Karlaftis. They were both first-round picks in 2022, which means their contracts both come available at the exact same time. Is it possible that the Chiefs are racing to get this done now because they know if Karlaftis bets on himself and has that year you're talking about, next offseason they can't be paying a premium D-end and a premium corner. There's not enough money to go around. So I wonder if the way the Chiefs view contracts has changed a little bit because they got 2 now to take care of.
Which just sounds crazy because they had the money to pay a premium center and a premium right guard. And now we're talking about if Karlaftis gets 12.5 sacks next year, he prices himself out of what the Chiefs can afford.
Now we're tiptoeing into that positional value conversation
right.
again.
And basically at this point, you guys are arguing the contract that they just gave their right guard. Now we're arguing about their 24-year-old defensive lineman. This is why I was making the argument about positional value. This is exactly why I was making the argument. Like you gave Trey Smith $70 million guaranteed. You gave him $70 million guaranteed. That's more money guaranteed than Max Crosby got. That's more money guaranteed than Myles Garrett just got with this deal on side. That's what I was arguing yesterday. So
me and you were on the same page.
No, you and I are on the same page. I'm just saying is right now, if I'm George Karlaftis, I wouldn't take a deal from the Chiefs unless they're going to pay me what the market says that I could turn out to be. I'm just not signing it yet. I'm not mad at that. People are saying, yeah, I'm taking the security blanket. I mean, not a lot of NFL players take that after their 3rd year. I know it sounds great. It sounds great to do. Yeah, of course, I wouldn't bet on myself. But I don't know if NFL players or athletes in general think that way, especially when we're talking big amount of money. We're talking a big amount of money. There's a big difference in being the 10th highest paid defensive end and being the 5th highest paid defensive end. It's a $47 million difference. Montez Swift is 5th. 4 years, $98 million. Chase Young got $51 million. That's a significant amount of money that I'm at least try to see if I can get. If I don't get it, then I don't get it. But I'm at least going to go out there and try to give myself a chance to maximize my earning potential as a football player. Everybody else on the team is. Who hasn't maximized their earning potential?
Well, that's actually,
everybody on the team has maximized their earning potential. Mahomes is going to make $1 billion from playing football in his life. Travis Kelce just got a new raise. Chris Jones just got paid.
The answer
Nick
might
Bolton
be
got paid. A lot of guys out here, they getting paid. And nothing wrong with that. Go get paid. I just got to give up $40 million? I'm okay. I'm going to try. Or they're going to pay him this year. And I'm going to be like, wait, we gave George Karlaftis a lot of money. Then I would say, then comes the expectation.
Mm-hmm.
If you pay George Karlaftis the 6th highest paid, I don't want to hear he's getting double teamed. Hey, he got 8 sacks. Nah, man, you paid him like he's Max Crosby. Go be Max Crosby. You need 14.5 sacks this year.
Let me ask you this. I think I know your answer, but I'm going to ask anyway. If you are George Karlaftis' agent, are you at all worried about the absolute lack of market that Charles Omenihu had last offseason?
He's hurt.
Because but when healthy, you're right, the injury changes the equation a little bit. But when healthy, Charles Omenihu was a better pass rusher than George Karlaftis the year before. And we know from the advanced numbers and stuff, Omenihu's return made Karlaftis better. And
I actually don't know,
no market for him.
I don't know I don't know. And I know we say sacks and these things are weird numbers. Charles Omenihu has never had a double-digit sack season. And this past year, he was coming off a year in which he had 1 sack and 6 tackles. You ain't getting a whole lot of money if that's the case at 27 years old. So I'm with you. Charles Omenihu is a very good player. Happy to have him on the Chiefs. To me, they're not comparable if the two. To me, the two comparisons for where we are with George Karlaftis are Max Crosby and Aiden Hutchinson. Those are the two deals. Max Crosby ain't give no money back. I don't think Aiden Hutchinson is giving money back. Now we're talking about George Karlaftis giving money back. That's just not really how 24-year-old players at premium positions usually operate. We're talking about a guy who could be in the 2nd or 3rd most valuable position on the field. That guy usually isn't passing up substantial amount of money. We can get back to I guess we are going to stay with the Chiefs. We can get back to George Karlaftis here in a bit. Today might be a little bit of a sad day for Chiefs Twitter. The Chiefs cut Justin Ross today. Now, I'm not here to make fun of Justin Ross, and I think that Justin Ross is honestly an inspiration. I'm not saying that joking. I'm not saying that to be funny. I think he's an inspiration for a player to have the amount of injuries and be a player, the only player in the NFL to have the kind of surgery that he had, still make it to the NFL, still register a catch in the National Football League to make it a 53-man roster as an undrafted player in which there was a large group of teams that simply did not have him on the board and would not take him under any circumstance because of his medicals. To even make it to the National Football League is a tremendous accomplishment. This take is not about Justin Ross. This take is about Chiefs fans. Because for a couple of years, I remember when Justin Ross was first team all training camp. I remember when a Justin Ross OTAs catch would shut down sports talk radio. Everybody was talking about it. It led the show. Can Justin Ross help the Kansas City Chiefs? And we got our answer. The answer was no. He couldn't help the Chiefs wide receivers when they didn't have any wide receivers. When they were desperately looking for anybody. They couldn't have guys out there that could catch a cold. They were waiting for somebody. Justin Ross, nowhere to be found. So this isn't about Justin Ross. This is about the training camp all-stars. This is about the Darwin Thompsons. This is about the Luis Rees-Zamits. This is about the Casey Printers, the Bobby Scipio. Who was that one guy? I can't remember his name. He was like a Canadian, Weston Dressler.
Yeah,
That's who it was. That's what this is about. Remember when Todd Haley said that he could win a championship if you gave him 53 Lance Longs? Remember that? And wasn't that the guy's name? That's what he said. He said, give me 53 of these guys. I could win a chip. That's what this segment is about. It's about first team all training camp. It's about first team all OTAs. First team all mini camp. It's about the Ish Smith Marzettes. It's about the DeReese Fountains, Deneric Princes, the Derek Gores. You know, the guys that you just get excited about. They go out to St. Joe. You've been missing football. You haven't had football in a little bit. They haven't put the pads on yet. They're not tackling anybody. And, man, you see this guy make one cut, one move, and you start to think, you think you're watching Barry Sanders out there. It's an illusion is what it is. That's what Justin Ross will always be. One day, you and your friends are going to be down in the basement in your man cave. You're going to be drinking a beer. You're going to have a Bud Light in your hand. Your friend's going to have a Michelob Ultra. You're just going to be guys being guys downstairs. Your other friend's going to be on the back playing pool on your pool table. And one of your friends are going to say, hey, do you guys remember Justin Ross? And you guys are going to have a nice 5 to 10 minute conversation about former Chiefs greats, guys whose names should be up in the rafters at Mo West. I'm not talking about Chiefs Ring of Honor guy. Everybody loves Derek Thomas. Everybody loves Lynn Dawson, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes. No, I'm talking about the other Chiefs legends. I'm talking about the guys that dominate August, the August All-Stars. That's where Justin Ross comes in. He had a great Chiefs career, man. Good luck to him. He actually asked for the release. He's not going to make this team. There really isn't any room for him, and he wants a chance to go join a team where he can help them in training camp and have a realistic chance to the roster. I get that. I understand it. Their wide receiver room is a little full. It's a little tight, and he's probably not going to make this team. So good luck to Justin Ross wherever he lands, but I'll always remember there's been no player over the last 3 years that could shut down sports talk radio and social media in June or May when they're in shorts and shells, quite like Justin Ross. He really had a gift.
I mean, the amount of people who thought he was some 600, 700, 800-yard guy just lying in wait is just astonishing to me. Do you know what Justin Ross is actually the opposite of this, but you know what usually happens with training camp guy? Most everyone you mentioned falls in this category. They are small school guy whom the average fan probably did not see play. Derek Gore, I'm pretty sure he went to UAB. UAB stopped football for a while. The average fan was not watching UAB or Southern Miss or Bobby Scipio was an Arena League guy. No one was watching the Arena League. No one has ever watched the Arena League. I can tell based on the television numbers. Luis Rees-Zammit, he was a rugby player. He's never played football ever. It was, we've never seen it. So everyone just assumes the guy they haven't seen, sight unseen, star.
No, you know what was so funny about the Luis Rees-Zammit, and I want to continue to let you cook, is it was the combination of them changing the kickoff rules and bringing him in. Oh, I mean, this is perfect for him. This is kind of like rugby. We don't really fully understand the kickoff rules. We got this really speedy, shifty guy. Did he even make it to St. Joe? I think they cut him before we actually got to St. Joe. Did he even make it there? I'm telling you.
I think he made it up there. I don't think he was up there very long.
Luis Rees-Zammit was here. He was here as an international student. If you were in college, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're not over here for a little bit. You get to do all the American things. You get to associate into the culture. You get to see what it's like. And then eventually you go back home a more well-rounded individual. That's what Luis Rees-Zammit was here for. He was here to meet Patrick Mahomes. He got to eat barbecue a couple of times. I'm sure he done a couple of Kansas City touristy things. Remember he brought that supermodel here and they went to Worlds of Fun.
That was like a really big story in town, but
that was like a top story.
It was like this time of year. It was like, hey, international sensation at Worlds of Fun with his girlfriend. You're like, whoa, what's happening? Look at this guy.
I'm telling you, man, it was out riding the Mamba and the Patriot. What's that one ride that goes one way, then it goes backwards? The Boomerang. What were they on?
Boomerang.
Yeah, they was riding the Boomerang. I mean, hey, I'm sure he took her to Prime Social. I'm sure they had a great time. And the Chiefs were like, hey, man, your work release is over. Just go back home. We really appreciate all your time. Somebody called Justin Ross. He was a social media superstar. That's a great way of putting it. That's what he was. He was a social media superstar. He was first team Instagram Reels. He was first team TikTok. There's nothing wrong with being first team TikTok. That's what he was. I'm telling you, if we go back and we find those training camp videos, the Chiefs, they're real smart about it too. They'll put it in 4K and super slow motion against some third string preseason corner. You're like, man, that was a really good catch. You start really thinking we could go back and we could find those things. I'm saying, I'm not sure if Rees-Zammit, I think he might have been working for the Raiders. Somebody said it. He might have been a spy. He might have been a spy for the Raiders or the Broncos to come here, kind of be cool with the Chiefs, get some information, and then go back.
I think Luis Rees-Zammit's girl was in town longer than he was.
For sure.
They spent a nice long weekend together, and he was unemployed by the end of it.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, Luis Rees-Zammit's the perfect example, though, my point. Whenever there's a player at camp who you've never heard of, and he went to a small school, and the average fan, and sometimes me and you have never seen him play, the minute he shows a dash of something, it's, oh, baby. The scouting department found this kid. He went to this small school. You probably never heard of it. It was Ball State. You're like, what do you mean you never heard of Ball State? Oh, he was balling on Tuesday. Bink always starts talking about him. He's always part of the...
Oh, Bink always falls for this every year.
Deneric Prince is a big one Bink fell for. Like, it's because Bink watches more football, so he sees the guy dominate on Tuesday in Akron and thinks it's going to translate, and the average fan did not watch that Tuesday in Akron and thinks, whoa, he made a great play against number 47, the linebacker I don't know. He must be a star. He's never a star. He's barely ever a contributor. Carson Steele was the biggest training camp win, and he got cut basically from touching the football in week 6.
Who do you think it's going to be this year? I already think I know who it's going to be.
You're right. It's the Clemson kid.
Yeah, it's going to be that Clemson tight end.
It's Bringingstool.
That's who it's going to be. Jake Bringingstool. I think that's how you pronounce his name. That's going to be the training camp all-star.
Is there a linebacker on my side of America? Because that's always a popular pick.
That's a good one. I don't know.
Because he's gritty. You know, he's coach's son.
I don't know. I really don't know.
It can't be Leo Chenal, but if there's a Ben Neiman type up there that's just giving it his all.
That's a good one. There's always room for one of those guys. There's always room for Nico Remigio on your team. There's always one roster spot. As much as we talk about the Chiefs and their 53-man roster, their 53-man roster is not set. They got 50 guys that are set, but there's definitely 3 spots that are open. You just got to go out there and get them. If you have a really good training camp and a good preseason, kind of like Carson Steele, you can make the team. It ain't that many spots available, but they got a spot for you. You better go take it. What did Isaiah Pacheco say? You got to take a grown man job. Jake Bringingstool, he better take a grown man job, or at least get him one on the practice squad. That's good living to be on the practice squad. So shout out to Justin Ross, man. Justin Ross, he has asked for his release. The Chiefs granted it, and now he's going to get a chance to get a fresh start somewhere and see if he can make a 53-man roster for another team in the league. Earlier today, we were joined by Missouri's athletic director, Lair Veach. We'll play the best of it next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
For the first time in a long time, I'm willing to dream that this can be a special season for the Missouri Tigers.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan.
Lowe's knows big savings make a big difference, especially when you're shopping for appliances. Hurry in to get up to 30% off select major appliances. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members get free delivery, free haul away, free installation and parts on purchases of $2,500 or more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com/delivery for more details.
You gotta dip your chicken strips. Hey, this is Kiani.
And this is Tabitha.
And a little thing we love about Chick-fil-A chicken strips
is all the different sauces we can dip them in. I like to line up all my favorite sauces so that in every bite, I have a different flavor. Then with the tenderness of the chicken, the juiciness of it, it's all there.
And for me, I like to mix my sauces so I get a little tang and I get a little sweetness all in one bite.
That's what makes it for me. Like, that's what does it for me.
That's what I'm saying.
It's the summer of Chick-fil-A chicken strips and sauces. Order now on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
BetMGM is making your next golf tournament winner. Bet's more exciting with Second Chance. What's Second Chance? Ever bet on your favorite golfer to win a tournament, only to see them miss the green? Well, with BetMGM's Second Chance promotion, you'll get your stake back in cash if your tournament winner bet finishes in second instead. That's right. Simply bet on any player to win a scheduled golf tournament during a promotional week. If you're right, you win. But if your pick finishes in second instead of first, you get your stake back in cash. Watch your favorite players go for the win all season long and bet knowing you'll get your stake back if they finish second. Log in today and make your picks with confidence with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM. BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards paid back in unrestricted withdrawable funds. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Hey there, Kansas Lottery here. And we want to get together for a game or two. Meet us at your favorite retailer or wherever you like to buy your tickets, and we can let the games begin. There's a lot of fun and cash on the line. See kslottery.com for details.
It's a classic odor tale. You fried fish for dinner, cleaned up, but the smell is still in the house. And the neighbors are coming over for game night. They're on their way. And then you spray Febreze Air Mist. Febreze Air starts working instantly to fight even your toughest odors, so you go from fish to fresh like that. Now all you have to worry about is Pam cheating at charades.
Breathe happy, Febreze, la 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 la.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Some things can steal your sunshine. Ugh, I just got my hair done.
Sorry, the cooler's broken. Anyone see my flip-flops? Anyone?
But COVID-19 can steal a lot more.
I just took a COVID test. Ugh.
Prescription medications for COVID exist. If you test positive this summer, ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com/COVID-19 to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hi, I'm Dustin, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. If you're shopping for an engagement ring, we want you to feel like a kid in a candy store. All of our diamonds are in stock, in-store and online, so you get to use your eyes, not your imagination. Come in and look at marquee-shaped diamonds right next to ovals and pears. As your friend and jeweler, you can trust you'll get your dream diamond at an everyday competitive price. We have the widest selection in-store and at shaneco.com, because a friend knows choosing a diamond is personal. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Royals coverage sponsored by Park & Go, the best deals on airport parking.
Ready for a summer getaway? Start it off right with Park & Go, KC's premier airport parking destination. Open 24/7 with all covered spots to beat the summer heat. Reserve your spot now at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, the best deal on airport parking.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Fire crews are tending to a grass fire 70 eastbound on the ramp to Sterling Avenue. The right lane blocked by fire truck. Lee Summit, that wreck, 50 eastbound on the ramp to 3rd Street, still there. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val. 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
All right, back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. I want to play this because we were celebrating Missouri earlier today. I got a chance to catch up with the athletic director at the University of Missouri, and we started our conversation with how much of your job as an AD right now is just fundraising. You got to pay for things. You got to pay for facilities. You got to pay players now for NIL. How much of your job is just trying to raise money to pay players?
Yeah, it is a lot. It needs to be. I mean, in the end, that's how I support our coaches and our student athletes is by, helping to provide the resources necessary to compete. And, part of it is certainly generating more and more resources because we've been making some good strides. We're doing a lot of good things, but we still have a lot of ground to make up when it comes to, particularly in the SEC, it is the top of the top. So you're competing with, from a resource standpoint, the wealthiest and most supported institutions and athletic departments in the country. So, you have to be willing to roll up your sleeves and compete and ask for support. I've been super thrilled with how our people are responding to those asks. But we also got to be really smart about how we're investing the money, right? It can't just be drain more and more. It has to be what, smart, difficult decisions are we making to really prioritize our resources, particularly now in this new environment where those dollars need to go to student athletes and that are on the front line that can help you compete and win.
I guess two-part question here, and we'll kind of talk more specifically about the teams. How is your job different from a group of 5 school like Memphis to now in the SEC? I'm also guessing that your job is very different post-COVID as opposed to pre-COVID. Everybody's job is a little bit different. How have you seen college athletics shift in your time going from a group of 5 to the SEC and also before and after COVID?
That's a good question. The role, I think back to I first became an athletic director at Memphis, the head job, so to speak, in 2019. So you just think about what's happened over the last 5-6 years in terms of change and focus and what you have to be managing every day, and it is dramatically different. Of course, the COVID thing was difficult for all of us, but it required a lot of focus and a lot of management attention on working us through that. And now, with NIL, with transfer portal, with, all the lawsuits and things we're managing these days, that managing that change is critically important, So the day-to-day focus is certainly different in some respects, but in others, it's about, relationships, people, having the right people in place. And, that's where I look at, being in a Mizzou, how much I appreciate just having so many good people around me on the staff, coaches, the support across campus. It's a place that is very much aligned on being successful and doing what it takes to be successful right now. And we've got a lot of good people to work with to do it. So it makes the job a lot more fun.
Right now, we're talking to Laird Veach. He is the athletic director at the University of Missouri. This is going to sound like a very open-ended question. I'm sure you get asked this all the time. I love college sports. I love college football. I would probably argue at times college football is my favorite sport. I don't really know what the rules are right now. I don't know how long you can stay in college. It seems like any player can make however much amount of money. It seems like you can play for Missouri one year, then the next year you can play at LSU, and the next year you can go play at Arkansas. I'm not really sure how the rules are. How are you constantly evolving as an athletic department when the rules just don't really seem clear for anybody?
Yeah, we're obviously going through a massive evolution right now, and in so many ways, we are on a path to professionalizing more and more, right? I mean, I think everybody recognizes that. That's what, and I get questions all the time like, well, why did you guys decide to do that? Well, we didn't really decide to, right? The courts have told us that that's what needs to happen. And at the same time, we didn't really control that change ourselves. So when it gets kind of forced upon you, when that evolution gets forced upon you, it's kind of difficult, right? It's bumpy, it's challenging. You didn't navigate it or decide it yourself, so you're in many ways responding. And so what we've been really trying to do is focus on how do we use the opportunity to position ourselves and to think differently. And it is a huge opportunity in a lot of ways. It's challenging in some respects. I think the encouraging thing now is that with the House settlement and all the things I'm sure you've been reading about recently with this revenue share that we're able to, compensate and pay student athletes directly for the first time ever. And, we have this cap, and then there's this clearinghouse for any outside, like real NIL deals that can be possible. We are shifting back as of this moment, as of July 1st, we're shifting back into a more sort of structured, regulated environment, which I think is good. I think, to your point, we've been living in this world where we really haven't had any rules, so to speak. That's what it certainly felt like, and how we've had to kind of navigate. But now there is at least some structure and some oversight, a new kind of sheriff in town with the Collegiate Sports Commission and them working with Deloitte to put together a really robust program that, I believe has some hope and chance to really bring some level of stability to this whole thing. We're clearly going to continue to evolve and change. We're never going back to what it was. But, hopefully we can get to a point where there is a little more stability in it. And, really for the benefit of the student athletes, now that many of them are going to be compensated directly, how can we find ways to really insert the academic mission back into the conversation and think about their experience as young people beyond the dollar. So we got to get back to that kind of discussion as well. And I think, getting this settlement done, some of the conversations that are happening at the congressional level will hopefully get to a point where that will provide some stability as well. So I am optimistic that we're going to get into a better time again. It's never going to be the same, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. And I think there's a lot of exciting opportunity in the changes that are taking place.
There have been a lot of conversations about the model that is going to be used. Do you have an opinion? Do you have an idea of what model we should use to determine who wins the championship in college football?
I don't, and I wouldn't personally describe it as unhappy. I think there was last year, and particularly the latter part of the season, was one of the more exciting and highly watched years in history, right? If not the. And so I think there's a lot of real good things that have come out of the expansion. I think it's how do we continue to make it better, right? And not necessarily be satisfied with that. I do think there'll be a point of diminishing returns on expansion at some point. I don't know if we're quite there yet. But I do think continuing to look for ways to make it better and better. And the opportunities that are there and that platform are massive for an institution like Mizzou. If we're able to compete and get into a college football playoff, particularly if you could think about us being a host of that first round and the first or second round in the playoff and what that would mean. It's massive, right? So for all the things we do and invest in, the benefit in so many ways comes back to how it impacts our university, our community, our state, from a brand standpoint, from an economic standpoint, from an enrollment standpoint. So we have to really push for those kind of massive exposure opportunities. And so we're going to continue to look at that and find ways to expand it and make it even better.
Talking to the athletic director for the University of Missouri for a couple of more minutes here. Let's just start with the football program. It seems like it is in a very, very comfortable place right now. You guys are generating more money than ever before. People are donating. You guys are adding construction and doing these things. You've won double-digit games the last couple of seasons. Your coach is happy. Your coach is in place. It feels like the football program, everything is rolling along fine right now.
Yeah, we are fortunate. We've had some real good momentum success. Coach Drake is an exceptional leader, coach. I describe him much more as a CEO type, super intelligent, really relates to players well, great leader not only for our football program but for our institution in many ways. So we're super fortunate there. And, but I look at more as it's a start and it's momentum, and the last thing we can do is get comfortable, right? We've got to continue to elevate, continue to push. We can't be happy with just winning. We got to now. How do we take that next step, right? How do we get into a college football playoff? How do we continue to work down that path and work towards a national championship? I mean, those are the kind of things we need to be aspiring to. And it takes a lot of investment and a lot of time and a lot of commitment to continue to progress like that. But, we're certainly not going to, just accept where we're at. We're going to keep pushing.
Laird, I remember when Kansas didn't want to play Missouri in anything. It was, we don't need to play them. They left the conference. You guys now play Kansas in everything. You play them in basketball. I was at the basketball game earlier this year. I'll be at the football game coming up. You play them in baseball. You play them in hockey. You play them in women's basketball. You guys play KU in just about everything now.
Yeah, I think it's great. I love seeing that competition, that rivalry continue. The athletic director there and I have talked a few times. In many ways, want to keep as much of that going as we can. It unfortunately gets complicated at times in scheduling in the future, but I will tell you the intent and the desire is definitely there. And because we both recognize how important the rivalry is, but particularly in this day and age when we're all traveling over the country. Anything we can do to have, to play more and to play, a true regular season contest. That didn't happen quite yet, but maybe we can get to that down the road.
That was Laird Veach. He was on the show earlier today. He is the athletic director for the University of Missouri. We'd highly encourage you to check it out. Tomorrow, we're going to have a very heavy K-State day. Chris Kleiman's going to be on the show. Gene Taylor is going to be on the show. Avery Johnson is also going to be on the show tomorrow, the quarterback for the team. So Jerome Tang's going to be on the show. So very excited to celebrate the Kansas State Wildcats tomorrow on the show. Coming up, I have an idea. I want to share it with you. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, your home for the best food takes in KC.
Regular old American nachos. You know, I don't need jalapenos with mine, just chips, cheese.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan.
In a world parched for excitement, Twisted Tea's your refreshing thrill ride of flavor. The hard iced tea that's smooth, made with real brewed tea and 5% alcohol. Twisted Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
If Old Spice Deep Sea Super Hydration Body Wash were music, what would it sound like? Start with the deep sounds of Old Spice's ocean waves and kelp. Layer on the smooth, renewing moisture. You wouldn't hear any parabens or phthalates because Old Spice Deep Sea hasn't got any. But you would hear that vitamin B3 for healthier looking skin. So while your regular body wash sounds like this, Old Spice sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Men, the summer is here. Longer days, warmer nights, and romance in the air. Intimate dinners, walks on the beach, dancing in the moonlight. But if you have erectile dysfunction, you know it can ruin romance, both for you and the one you love. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health. And if you have ED, don't let another summer go by without getting treated. Because intimacy is one of the greatest things in life, and fear of not being able to perform should not be something you have to deal with. At Heartland Men's Health, we're ED experts. We've successfully treated tens of thousands of men. Our protocols work when others don't, and we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. You could even last up to an hour or more and perform like you haven't in years. So call us. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone, now through July 28th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Eat up, buddy. It's almost time for school.
You take charge of your home. You take charge of your work. Don't forget to take charge of your gut health too with Nature Made probiotics. Nature Made has clinically studied probiotics that work with your digestive tract's natural bacteria, so you won't miss a beat in your daily routine. Find us in the vitamin aisle. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
When businesses thrive, communities score. That's why Bank of America is the official bank of FIFA World Cup here in Kansas City. And our more than 30 local business specialists are ready to help your business win. What would you like the power to do? Learn more at bankofamerica.com/local business. Bank of America, official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
This report is brought to you by Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Proud partner of the Kansas City Royals. Each can of Surfside is only 100 calories and the best part, 0 bubbles. Grab it at the K or ask for it at your favorite bars and liquor stores.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Okay, still working that grass fire and its crews. A lot of onlooker delay. 70 eastbound at Sterling Avenue, the right lane blocked by fire trucks. Emergency vehicles, 70 westbound at 7th Street, the right lane blocked. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val. 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football.
Most of the really cool things that we have in sports, at one point, people laughed at and called it gimmick. Think about it. The three-point contest, people saw it as a gimmick. The three-point line was a gimmick. The shot clock was viewed as a gimmick. Go back and watch basketball games before the shot clock. Wasn't a whole lot of fun. Somebody had the idea like, hey, why don't we speed this game up and just increase possession? No, you can't do that. I mean, it was the right idea. Basketball's better. If you don't believe me, go to a high school basketball game and see what basketball looks like without a shot clock. It ain't that fun. You guys, I don't want to say you guys, that's not fair. Some of you guys, that's better. Some of you guys hated the pitch clock. Baseball doesn't have a clock. You can't do that. It's you millennials. And your short attention spans. The ratings have gone up and up. The pitch clock is a major reason why baseball's better. It moves faster. It's the same game. It's just better. I like the ghost runner on second base. I really do. I can't lie to you guys. I like it. I think it's kind of fun. I'm a big fan. I like it. I would be all for them trying this home run idea during the regular season. Now, with the caveat, I don't think this should be the rule all the time for extra innings. I don't think that. I like the ghost runner rule, and I think that's the best rule for regular season games. But you know what I would propose? You remember how we used to do interleague play back in, 2001? Where it was 2 weekends, basically, where you would play like a crosstown rival, the Subway Series, or, the Dodgers would play the A's or something. I would love if we did that 2 weekends with this home run rule. Let's just try it and let's see. Let's try it in a real game. I looked this up because I was curious. 10% of Major League Baseball games throughout the course of a year go to extra innings. 10%. So we're not talking about a huge number of games. We're talking about somewhere between like 230 to 240 baseball games across all of the sport go to extra innings. Can we have 2 weekends in American League stadiums and National League stadiums that we get to see this home run rule for everybody? And let's see what happens in a regular season game. You got enough inventory to do this. How many games do we think are actually decided this way if they did this for 2 weekends? Maybe 5 games? Wouldn't you like to see this in a regular season sense? I'd love to see it in a regular season sense. Hey, everybody's available. Let's try this. Let's just try something different. Let's try something unique. Let's have some fun. I tell you guys all the time, baseball's greatest asset is its inventory. There's so many games. So let's try to experiment with some. Let's play some in some cool places. Let's try some different rules for a weekend. You got 162 of these. Trust me, you losing in July because of a home run derby and extra innings, that's not going to be why you missed the playoffs. You had plenty of other chances. You weren't good enough. Let's have a little bit of fun. Let's try some gimmicks. I love it. I love to try some gimmicks in the regular season. I really think this All-Star break, this All-Star week, I can't sing baseball's praises enough. From start to finish, the home run derby was fun. The game, it got off to a little bit of a slow start, but it was a great comeback. It was a fantastic comeback. We got a chance to see a new way of deciding a winner when we got to extra innings. They did a fantastic job paying respects to Hank Aaron. I mean, this was an A+ All-Star break, All-Star weekend. I really honestly can't say anything more positive. It was great. I'm all for them trying this idea in the regular season. I'm serious. 2 weekends, the same way we did interleague play. Let's try to see, and let's see how many games we get in. I'd love to see this played out in real time. I think it was a fun, creative, innovative way to end a baseball game. I'm not as holier than thou when it comes to overtime rules. You had a chance to win. That's what the regulation is for. As long as the overtime rules are fair for each team, I ain't that mad about it. Both teams have a fair chance of winning the game. And that's all you need. I might disagree with some ideas. Like, I don't love the college football format. I certainly don't love now that we do that silly 2-point conversion rule. That's dumb. But, I mean, both teams, they know the rules going into it. I mean, you got a chance to win. You should have took care of business in regulation. You had 60 minutes to avoid these silly rules, and you didn't do it. So I just want to throw that out there that I am a fan of the home run derby rule, and I wouldn't mind seeing it. I think it would be kind of cool if we got a chance to see this in a regular season game. I'd be all for it if we got to see it.
I wouldn't mind moving to it, but I don't like the idea of a BP pitcher out there throwing it. Like, give the defending team a chance. Like, make it fastballs only, or you have to throw a strike. Like, do something. But, like, I do think it's gimmicky for, hey, the third base, now that we're tied, the third base coach is going to pitch in the 10th inning. I think you should have a real player forced to pitch, but I don't hate the idea. I also am the kind of person that don't hate the idea of a tie in baseball, but I know that scares people. It just gets people shivering.
I would have thought you loved it because this is basically what your soccer does. This is the end of soccer games.
Only in the postseason. They don't do it in the regular season this way, and it's stupid, by the way, for soccer.
I would love for a soccer game to end with a shootout. I'd love it. I went to a soccer game and I was like, wait, hold on, we're just done? We're not going to try to figure out who won this game. We're just done. Doesn't make any sense to me. I had a lot of fun. Hopefully you had a lot of fun. Tell your K-State friends. They're really going to like tomorrow's show. I'm excited to talk K-State tomorrow. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Watch the show on YouTube by subscribing to the 965 YouTube channel. The Drive, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan.